Happy Monday, everybody. Collider Live is back in town. We never really left town, but we're all back in town.
Well, Roxy kind of left.
Roxy left.
I don't know what you mean. We literally just spoke for 10 minutes
all
about
of
me
us
leaving.
I said Collider Live is back in town. So, I mean, you're back in town, but Collider Live has kind of always been
I
in
did
town.
leave town.
You did.
Yes.
Not all of us.
Not the show.
Collectively, we're a band, Roxy.
You left town too, didn't
I
you?
did.
Where'd you go? Oh, it's the two of us.
Okay, many of us were out
I
of
didn't
town.
go.
50% of us.
Yes.
50% of the show.
No, you know what? Not even. About, I'd say 40%.
Where's
Cody,
Alex been?
He left.
He's still out of town.
He's gone. No,
Yeah.
he texted me this morning, and it's such a at first, this is the text I get from Alex this morning. And at first, I didn't understand what was happening until I did.
Alex saw Rambo, and then now he's gone to find the love of his life and bring her back and
That's
kill
right.
her.
Oh,
But
what's
it-
going on with
Perfect.
that?
No, he said this. This is what he said. Hey, Kristian, I'm sorry for not being on live the past few days. My dad was accused of causing surges in space, so I went to Neptune to stop him with the powers of emotions. By the way, that movie freaking rocks. So he
At Astra.
At Astra, yeah.
It was good. It was a good start.
Took
It was a
me a
good
while.
start.
Did you see
But
it?
did he tell you why
did.
he actually hasn't been here?
Yes, and it was work related. Boring.
Okay.
Boring compared opposed to Ad Astra. Okay. So Alex is going to be tomorrow. So don't worry about time code junkies. You'll get your time codes tomorrow.
Do we have? Is there like an embargo on Ad Astra? Isn't it out? Is it
It's
out?
out.
Yeah,
We
Is it
talked about
good?
it already. Yeah, we
It's a
talked
good
about
name
it.
for
Oh,
a
we did?
channel. Time Code Junkies.
Time code junkies. Yeah.
It's not bad.
It's I really enjoyed the movie. I did. I didn't love the ending of it, and I think Roxy and I feel the same way that it's a really cool, great visually told movie. Brad Pitt's amazing in it.
Yeah.
There's some stuff that's done in space that I've never seen done in movies before, but the story kind of falls apart at the end, and it's just we were
Like
talking
Interstellar kind of falls
No,
apart?
Interstellar. Me actually, when you watch it again, how many times have you seen Interstellar?
Just once.
Yeah. See, for
Gets
me,
better.
it gets better every
Really?
time you watch it. It does make more sense. But
I've seen it twice. I
No.
hated it more the second
Really?
time.
I loved it. the
Just
second.
like Interstellar.
No, really? Okay.
Well,
I thought it made a lot more sense.
this was at least that took a bigger swing. This just didn't swing at the end. It
No.
was like, nah.
Yeah.
Ad Astra.
Yeah, but it looked great.
But I loved it.
Backwards
it was,
cat.
it was
Struck out
great.
looking.
It just at the end was like,
Yeah, it's got like a Terrence Malick thing to it, or a Kubrick. It's definitely a slow burn, and I liked it because of that. To be honest with you,
Me
It was
too.
one
I
of-
thought it was great.
It was a nice palate cleanser.
Super fun.
Yeah.
Nice to see.
But
So I should wait for on demand? Like, don't.
I think
I don't think
if
you
you're
need to
gonna
go to see for you. For
if you're
you.
gonna see it, if you're somebody who loves movies, visually, it's gonna be cooler in the theater. You know, like that's
Somebody
the,
who loves movies.
like people who don't
Films.
care about that. If you don't care how it looks,
Yeah.
Yeah.
then story wise, yeah, you could totally wait.
okay.
But if you're going to see it
You'd fall
just for the
asleep. You'd fall
visuals,
asleep.
Yeah.
I would fall asleep.
You would.
but
yeah.
it'd be nice to fall asleep to.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would.
Like it'd be like, ooh, this is
Does
cool.
it have like a nice sleepy score?
Yeah,
Like a,
Kinda,
it's,
yeah.
it's a beautiful
Yeah.
movie. It really is. It's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
What can you,
You
Cody,
like
can you
it?
bring up box office, please? Because I think that
It made 20, I think?
I think we were right that Downton
Downton Abbey,
crushed,
number one.
Right?
Yo, that was crazy.
Yeah, so I made 31 mil at Astra, and Rambo basically tied.
Yeah.
I think that $210,000, a little bit about $190,000 more at Astra made than Rambo Last Blood, which came in third place. Chapter 2 did 417, and then Hustlers rounded it out at 17.
Look at Hustler still
It's crushing, man.
performing.
62 mil.
I still
But
haven't
look,
seen it.
you know what's a great is Good Boys at 77 million. The fact that
Yeah.
that's made that movie
It's
is
sneaky. It's sneaky.
it's great.
Yeah, it's a
I
it's
can't
called
wait to see that
sneaky,
again.
Sneaky box office, and then you look at
Or Falcon.
which one? Yeah, Peanut Butter
Peanut
Falcon.
Butter Falcon.
You were
Almost
right.
at
I
17.
did talk to the directors again over the weekend.
Oh,
We were
yeah?
kind of Instagramming back and
Oh,
forth. And they
good.
thanked us for. They
They're
said they kind
so
of they
into
said that we
it.
kickstarted the whole thing, but it's
Good.
because we were talking about Shia LaBeouf on Hot Wings, which was just one of the best episodes.
Oh,
I've ever
man.
seen.
Yeah.
It was really.
I've
good.
never really watched a full episode of that all the way through. I think I watched like some of the Neil deGrasse Tyson. Regardless, I watched that whole
thing.
episode
It was
with
great.
Shia. Yeah, it was
And I
fantastic.
like that was the thing with Shia, man. I've back in the day, you know, was not a big fan of his. I didn't understand it, and you have to call him Shia LaBeouf and a whole different
Yeah.
thing. And it's funny because I've always thought he's a great actor when it comes to the smaller roles. I didn't like him in the Transformers movie. I didn't like him in Indiana Jones, but in the smaller movies is where he really shines. Or a movie like Fury, which is a big budget movie, but he
was great in Fury.
was great in that. But it was that video of the
Do it.
just do it that I was like, I get it now. I get it. And then you really get his personality through this Hot Wings thing, and I like he's pretty raw. I dug it.
We watched it. I was up at my brother's place this weekend. Went to the Steeler game yesterday, which we unfortunately
town?
lost. I was out of town. OOT.
Are you out of town?
Yeah, I can't recommend highly enough for opposing fans to never go to San Francisco.
Oh, I thought you love San Francisco. You go all the time.
I mean, my brother lives outside the city. I don't go
Right.
into the city that much.
No, you're saying inside the city itself.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about the stadium. The
Oh,
stadium
okay.
itself. There was a lot of Steeler fans, and we are a generally very well-behaved people, unless like the Browns
doing
are in town.
jump ropes in the
Ravens.
parking lot?
Yeah, it
I
was
saw
great.
that.
Little girl was doing the thing, and Amanda's like, "Are you gonna?" Before she could even say it, I like ran to the jump rope, and I was jump roping the girl in the parking lot. She loved it. But so on Saturday night, my brother, I told many people, but my brother beat cancer this year, which was amazing, and so it was like, yeah, thank you. So it was like it was a 1 year basically anniversary of him telling us that he had cancer, so he can finally like drink again. All the surgeries are pretty much over. I mean, you can't really say he's cancer free for 7 years. That's what the doctor says,
Yeah.
but
Right.
now says he's cancer free. So we like watch the kids play soccer and whatever, and then he's like, let's get a bottle of bourbon. Let's drink old school. And so we start watching the Hot Ones. Smash cut to like 2 a.m. and we're both outside like, don't stop. Like it was college drinking. Like it was intense. And so we're watching the Hot Ones, and he's like, dude, Shia LaBeouf kind of seems like the dude that like we would hang out with. And I was like, I think that's what you get from this interview.
Interview
that like he's a good effing dude.
Well, we can remember he's done some shady shit with the plagiarizing and all that kind of stuff that he's gone down. He's had his ups and his downs, but he embraces that on the episode.
Yeah.
He embraces the things that he's gone through, and that's what I dug about it. And the rumor about the Tom Hardy thing, he shed light on that.
That was a funny story.
I dug it. Did you get a chance to watch
Yeah,
it?
I did. I did. I think that a lot of why you guys like him more now is because he's a better person than he used to be. Like he changed, so your guys' opinion on him changed.
Mature.
Which is what we should, as people of this world, allow people to do.
Right.
Like,
Your Patriots matured and released Antonio Brown.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
The Giants matured and put Eli on the bench and got Mr. Daniel Jones.
Yes.
And I'll tell you what, man, that kid is the goods.
Yeah, he can play.
Great.
I haven't
Cody
heard
Hall.
somebody say the goods in a while.
That kid is
He's
the goods. He's the goods. Because here's the thing: because we had the whole conversation that you got to be respectful when your team's playing another team, right? So this was you tell me if you think this
I'm
is
always very respectful.
I know you are. You tell me if this is respectful. Because I was going to talk to my brother about it, but I was like, Cody Hall's awake, so I'm going to talk to Cody about it. And this is the text that I sent to Cody. You tell me if you think it's respectful or douchey. He didn't say either way, but I just want to say this is what I said. First thing, hey, look, I thought it was over, and if Eli ever plays another down, JTE is going to win a spelling bee because this kid's going to take the job. And Cody responds, all caps, not right now, Kristian.
It wasn't a great time.
Well, it was a tough game because you guys had it for the majority of the game, but you had to be a little nervous because that kid just kept coming forward.
Look, it's been a tough 10 years, Kristian.
Yeah, I know.
The Buccaneers haven't made a field goal in 10 years. We've had a different kicker every freaking season.
You get another one pretty soon.
Even when they caught the pass at the end there, they're at like the 10-yard line, and then they just, we're going to kick it. No, you're not. Don't do that. Don't do that. He's going to miss it. He missed it.
No, I know. With the stupid shoes.
Stupid shoes.
Yeah.
Man.
No. It was something, man. Because just watching that, I knew it though that I love Eli. I love him, and I'm not one of these people like, oh, he should have been gone 5 years ago. The guy was Tom Brady's kryptonite.
Yeah.
And he's a New York Giant legend. It's just time to hang him up.
Yeah.
It's just time, and I think this kid's proven that.
Different people can play till different ages.
Yeah.
And when you're comparing yourself to somebody else and you're like, oh, well, then I can play into my, I don't know, early to mid 40s.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
At that level,
At
too.
that
He's only
level.
38 or whatever he is, but still.
But everybody's trying to be Tom Brady.
He's the same age. Ben Roethlisberger, Phillip Rivers, and Eli Manning all came out in the same draft, I think.
Yeah.
Right.
And so they're all the same age. Ben Roethlisberger obviously hurt out for the season. Eli Manning hasn't been good. You know what's a crazy stat about Eli Manning is that he is, everybody would imagine kind of first ballot Hall of Famer if you look at certain, because he won the two Super Bowls, all that kind of
against
stuff.
the greatest,
I know,
arguably
beat an
the greatest
undefeated
quarterback of all
team,
time.
whatever. But Eli Manning right now has a 500 record as a starting quarterback. So it's like, is that, Joe Namath went into the Hall of Fame with the worst numbers in any quarterback in history, but just because he won Super Bowl II and kind of changed the league. But Eli Manning, on the other hand, at 500 may never start another game. Does he retire after the year? Does somebody try and pick him up? Whatever. But right now, as a 500 quarterback, that's not exactly Hall of Fame stats.
I think the two titles got some there.
Yeah,
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think he deserved it.
Yeah, I mean,
totally.
Especially when like you said, beating the undefeated team and then beating Brady twice.
Right.
Brady's only lost twice. And it's been the Eli.
Half of the wedding party was from New Jersey.
Ooh.
there it
so
is.
New Jersey.
Before we left, we were all watching the Patriots-Jets game, and
That's fun.
I started to feel like legitimately bad because.
They stink.
There's like little kids.
Yeah.
And, they're wearing their jet stuff.
Yeah.
I'm looking over and I'm screaming.
Yeah.
Like, we're just wiping the floor with them. It's not, it's fun, but it's not fun when you're in that setting. There's like little kids. They're like,
No,
like, they're really upset.
Yeah, it was.
It's a bummer.
My little nephew cries when the Steelers lose. He's 7.
Did he go with you?
Yeah, he was there.
People were screaming at him.
Yeah,
right?
some people said some inappropriate stuff to my wife. Some people just yelled at a 7-year-old
Did
boy.
they talk about her vagina? Because it can't be
No.
as inappropriate as
No,
the,
they didn't go full real
okay.
rejects. But my little nephew was crying, so I was like, kind of consoling as they're walking out, and like some dude was like, "Go home and cry!" Like yelled at a 7-year-old. I'm like, come on, like have a little bit of class, just a touch of class. Listen. I've been to enough Steelers home games to see really, really drunk people, and I know they can be obnoxious. But man, San Francisco took it to another level.
They won the title?
Someone was walking out and just screamed in Amanda's face, "Show me your tits!" I was like, "What is happening here?
Right, and you
What
can't
is
say
this?"
anything.
No,
That's
I wouldn't
pretty
like
close
it.
to the
You
vagina.
can get beat up.
Yeah,
not
it was a
nice.
walk of shame out. Cody, I know you were at home, you watched the loss, but nothing quite kind of like leaving an away stadium with a loss, just with your head down,
Right.
on a huge walk of shame.
I don't
You ever
understand.
cried on the floor, Josh?
I have, Cody.
That's
I
right.
have.
I don't understand yelling when you win.
You don't understand it?
Yelling when you win, just like
Gloating, you mean?
yeah, like
Oh,
that.
yeah,
like,
the people.
Yeah,
Right.
I get when you're
Not
pissed.
goading, Cody.
When you're,
Gloating.
when you're pissed and you're livid and you're walking out and your team lost and you're yelling because you're just drunk and mad. But like you just won.
Well,
Yeah.
What are you? Why are you?
Totally.
No,
I don't
that's
get
true.
it.
I don't get it either,
Speaking
but
of people who do
yes.
that, I got my email from Oyama.
Oh yes, you did. Okay,
I did.
Good.
I got it last night.
Good.
Nice.
And was it?
It was
nice.
nice. It
Is
was
he
nice.
asking you to be his manager or something?
No. No, he's. I spoke to him too. I don't want to
making him
No,
choose.
it was a really nice
Good,
email. I
good.
thought it was lovely, and like I said earlier, with Shia LaBeouf or LaBoots, whatever we're calling him on
People
the
can
show.
change and give people a chance.
Yeah, and like I definitely have. So
I like the fact that he's making the effort. But you know what I like even
I
more?
thought it was darling of him. Like
Good.
I really thought it was sweet.
Did you guys ever go to the Shia LaBeouf like room where you could stand with him?
No, but I remember when
How
What?
Rudnick did it.
Yeah, how
I think.
Rudnick did
The
it.
what?
Yeah. So he did the performance
remember this?
art, and people would line up, and Shia LaBeouf sat in a room with you had a paper bag on his head,
Oh,
and
yeah.
you went in for a certain amount of time, and you could
Like 2
talk,
minutes,
but he
3
wouldn't say
minutes,
anything to you.
no.
You can take the bag off his head, you can film him, but you couldn't.
I
But
don't remember this.
How-
What year is this?
Can you watch the movies
like
with him too?
2015.
yeah, but Hal
2014.
went in there, and they took the bag off, and Hal was just like going like roasting him basically.
For a
He
Screen
got a lot of
Junkies
shit
bit
from it.
or what?
Yeah. He got a lot of shit for it, but it was.
You could go in there and
you
yell
could
at
do-
him.
You can do whatever
You
you
do
want to
whatever
do.
you
You
want.
just couldn't touch him, obviously.
You just
But
can't.
you could take the bag off his head, but you couldn't. Like, that was it. And he would just sit there and watch. And it was like, if you think about it, though, pretty fucking impressive.
I know,
that he
I
could
know.
sit there with all those people coming in, and he didn't budge.
It was crazy.
didn't
That's
budge.
when I was like, I like this dude.
I-
That was the one
An
that
interesting
just.
cat.
He's an interesting
Yeah.
dude. He did the thing in the elevator. Remember
Yes.
the elevator thing that he did, where you could ride up and down in an elevator with him and just talk to him. He was in an elevator for like hours,
Yes.
riding up and down with
Yeah.
I
people.
don't remember that.
I
either.
missed that one.
That was
I knew about the movies
Yeah.
where he watched all of his movies. You can sit there and watch it with them.
Yeah, and that was it. But I do have
Hey,
I
good
had
for him.
something. So there's something better. I've been talking about how my I've been the maybe I don't want Jaboba, maybe I want Pert. That's all I've been saying. The dice bit around my house, and my 8-year-old's been doing it.
That's how I learned what pert was.
Pert because of that. So this
'Cause of you.
this happened by accident, and I had no idea that it was even a thing until this happened.
Maybe I don't want. Baba. Maybe I want. Punch.
My 2-year-old now says it.
Your wife's on cloud nine.
And she goes,
Unreal.
There's your
yeah,
nest.
and then someone
So
said,
good.
yeah, I said it to, I was saying it to the oldest. I was like, maybe I don't want. I hear the 2-year-old go, "Chapopopa." and I go, no way. I go, maybe I want Pout. I was like, yes. I was like, that's amazing. So immediately I did that and sent it to Makuga.
Incredible.
It was really good. Maybe I don't want Chapopa.
Yeah. Let me tell you guys a little something. Your daughter does what? Karate?
Yes.
Okay. So my little niece is same age as your daughter. I think she might be like a year older. So we went to a 4th grade girls volleyball game on Saturday. Okay, my brother and I, like 5 minutes in, he's like, we should do one of those like Sunday, the St. Charles girls volleyball team. We'll keep you on the edge of your seat. Kristian, I have
never cheered as much.
I've never seen a sport quite like the slow silence of 4th grade girls volleyball. Okay. So here's what it is. First of all, they're trying to teach these girls overhand serves, but they can't hit the ball far enough to get over the net. So every time one of them tries an overhand serve, it just lands short. And so finally the coach is like, go underhand. Like they're yelling, go underhand, right? The one girl on the team, I think the coach may have told her, like, listen, when you're in this spot, don't move. So she just stands there and doesn't move. And then when you have to rotate, she just moves, goes like this. Like the ball would be over here and she'd be like, right? Like doesn't move, okay? So it's complete silence. This one girl, they're like going to line up to serve, right? And this girl just keeps like rocking her arm back and forth. And the one of the girls on the other team just like kind of walked away. Like it was just silence, like pin drop silence. And you hit it over once and then they all go, mine, and don't get it. They don't get it. They don't keep score. It's a 20-minute running clock, 2 halves. I've never spent a longer 20 minutes just staring at the thing. My brother going like, this has got to end soon, right? This has got to end soon. It was pandemonium. Even my little nephew Luke was just like, this is so boring! Like, he yelled it. Go do yourself a favor and watch 4th grade girls volleyball. It's unbelievable. It was unbelievable.
So it's kind of a mixed review you just gave there.
Yes, yeah.
About like how awful it is, but then
go
like
see
go.
it.
Oh, you gotta go.
It's like when you really smell bad and you try to make people smell you.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
No.
No,
That's true.
thanks.
Yeah.
I'm a big smell guy.
Yeah. Again, when you have a young one that you want to make sure that anything you do, you'll learn this.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
You want to keep them occupied one way or another. And so remember that thing we got at the Cobra Kai thing, the Google, the Hey Google. So I'll do in the morning in order because sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes you put her on the changing table and she goes, "All right, change. Let's do this. Let's go get an apple juice." Great. Other times, and I get, all right, what the fuck do I do here? So I go, "Hey Google, what does a wolf sound like?" Ooh, and she listens, right? But sometimes she won't give a fuck about the wolf, right? So then I said, I don't know how I found this out, and I think it was by accident. But I said, "Hey Google," and I went, "What does that smell?" And Google goes, "It was me, I farted." I was like, wait, what? Google legit says this, right? And Siri doesn't, but Google does. And then then my 8-year-old thinks it's the funniest thing in the world. So she goes, "Google, what's that smell?" So now Google changes it up. And she's like, "It definitely wasn't me, but I'll pretend it was, so I'll fart again." And she goes, and she lets out a fart. And
Alexa does that. She farts.
Alexa does too?
Alexa, yeah. Julie loves that. She goes, "Alexa, fart," and it goes,
yeah,
it just does a fart
sound
and
like, right? Yeah, yes, and
we're 5.
the kids love it. So well, there you go. Now you know.
And
so
the 40-year-olds love
This
it too.
is amazing.
Yeah,
Let
there
me
you go.
ask you though,
Sure.
like as a real question.
Yes.
Why does a baby not want to be changed at some points? Like you're wet, you're
Right,
uncomfortable.
because
like-
you're in your own shit.
Yeah.
Don't you want to get out of your own shit?
Sometimes yes, sometimes no. She had, it was just maybe full of pee.
But does she say anything like,
Sometimes
I don't want to?
Sometimes
or like,
she'll walk by. My favorite is when she's she's running, she's laughing, and she stops. She's, "Uh-oh." I go, "What? Just poo-poo."
Yeah.
And then she wanted to get changed.
so she
that's
does
how-
want to.
Yeah, sometimes no. She's in the middle of she's in the middle of doing shit.
I don't know. I guess I like as an adult still sometimes I'll be like, I don't feel like going to pee.
And so you just piss in your pants.
No, I'll hold it.
No,
It's not good for you.
no, it's not good for you. But
That was
you
like
know-
that episode of Euphoria, that most uncomfortable episode.
okay,
that
I don't do that.
She holds her pee for like 2 days.
That was fucking brutal
Yeah,
watching that.
I
Oh,
don't want to know about that. But you know what you should know about is the Between the Two Ferns movies.
Okay, wait. I've heard. I gotta watch.
Yeah, I got to see it.
I see it
missed
finally. I watched something before you fuckers did.
Yeah.
I watched an hour and 10 minutes of it, but I'm almost done with it. It's
Is there a plot or it's just the
yeah,
interviews?
No, it's a plot.
Oh,
It's so they take. So if you've seen the show, obviously Zach Galifianakis just uncomfortably interviews celebrities. You know, he's anyone from like Bruce Willis to Obama.
but they're in on it. They know.
Yeah, they're in on it.
Yeah,
It's a funny.
great.
It was a Funny or Die sketch, and so the plot is that he's interviewing Matthew McConaughey and something goes awry, right? And then they flash backwards and you see him kind of how it led up to that, and then after it, Will Ferrell, who runs Funny or Die, is playing Will Ferrell, but like a ridiculous version of himself. And he sends Galifianakis.
Is this on Netflix?
It's on Netflix.
Yeah.
He sends
I can't wait.
Galifianakis across the country to get 10 celebrity interviews before he gives them a full network television show. And how he's able to do that, considering he just runs Funny or Die, you don't ask the question. And he just interviews everybody. He interviews like Brie Larson. The Paul Rudd one is really funny. Keanu Reeves. I mean, there's a ton, Chance the Rapper, which is really funny. Yeah, he's just,
That's great.
Man. I'm like giggling thinking.
I didn't even know that this existed.
Me
Yeah,
neither.
he asked him. He says, he goes, if your parents wouldn't have named you Chance the Rapper, do you think you still would have had a career? He's like, my parents didn't name me Chance the Rapper. It's my stage name. And he goes, what is your brother's name? Community Chest. It's really good. It's good. Like the whole thing was really funny. I dug it. It just kind of I actually saw it because I saw people tweeting about it and saw snippets of the interview and I was like, oh, I'll watch it. So we started watching a little bit of it. I did watch Late Night also.
I loved it.
I liked
haven't
it.
seen it.
Okay.
I didn't buy her as a. I think she's a great actress, Emma Thompson. I don't buy her like she would ever in a million years be a successful.
late night talk
no,
show
but
host.
she's too serious. She was way too serious, and she wasn't funny on stage.
No.
I would have liked to seen someone else in that role, like another female comedian.
Like a who?
I thought Melissa McCarthy, but that's easy to kind of lay on. But McCarthy could have, but obviously
Julie Dreyfus would have been great, I think.
Julie
she
Louise
would have
Dreyfus.
been great.
Yeah.
And not, the whole point was the fact that the American audience responded to this English woman, and that was kind of her thing. But it was like I just didn't all the way through. I liked the movie a lot, though. I thought Mindy Kaling was great. It was predictable,
Totally.
But it was a nice change of pace.
Yeah.
I dug it. Did you see it? No, I think you.
You'll.
It's on
Ben said
Amazon,
it was a
right?
top 5 for him of the year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I wouldn't go
He
that far.
loved it.
Yeah.
It's on Amazon? Is that where
It's on Amazon.
Okay.
Yeah, I liked it. I didn't.
And it's free on Amazon. It's not on
yeah.
pay.
No.
Well, if you have Prime.
Yeah, Prime.
Yeah.
Did I tell you guys I saw Judy though? Did I tell
I
you
saw
guys
Judy. I
about
went
that?
to, yeah.
No.
We talked. It's great. Oh yeah, you weren't here. I went to the premiere. With,
Oh my god,
Sarah.
yeah,
it
you
was so
always said
good.
Yeah, and it was.
I can't stop thinking about that movie.
It was great. It was great. She was great.
She was great.
She's a lock for nomination.
I think she should win.
Well, you haven't seen all the
I
performances.
don't care.
It's Zellweger, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
You're right. As of right now,
As of right
she
now,
should win.
Yeah, if we were basing on everything we've seen thus far this year, I agree
should
with
win.
you. Then she should. She's the best so far. But
But we're going into the season.
That's right. We're getting locked into
We're going
it's
into the
it's now.
season.
So yeah, but she's phenomenal, and because I retelling the story what I said on I think Friday, Sadie was very excited to go. We went check it out, but she was skeptical because she didn't know if Renee Zellweger was going to be able to pull off the singing, and boy did she ever.
A lot of people in my screening did not think she did.
Fuck.
I thought that they
F
don't.
them.
I don't understand that.
Yeah,
I
no.
thought it was
She-
so
I went back-
emotionally charged and beautiful, and she hit those notes.
And yeah, my wife is a strong critic when it comes to that stuff, and she was like, "All right, she got me." Because
Yeah.
you go back and you watch YouTube clips of Judy Garland. It sounds exactly
Exactly
the
same.
Yeah,
I know.
she studied because then we sat at the after party, which wasn't very good, but we went and we sat down. We were eating, and this old lady comes over and she's like, "I was saving this table for my family." I'm like, "Well, we'll leave." She's like, "Oh, it's okay. Hang out. That's fine. That's fine." I was like, "Okay." She's like, and we were talking. She's like, well, she was really good. She was really good. And I was like, "Yeah, she was really. She trained for 8 hours to get that music down. 8 hours a day." And I was like, I didn't ask her how she knew, but I was just like, I believe her.
Yeah.
She's like, I went to school with Judy Garland. I said, no. But,
Why didn't people think she would? Why did your wife not think so? Because after she's done
Chicago,
musicals
but she was
before.
okay in Chicago. Her the
she's
singing
phenomenal.
really, but I mean that's
I was going to
different.
say, was she ever in a singing movie before? Because I don't
Yeah,
remember.
Chicago, but
Yeah.
very
Kathleen Zeta-Jones
different. But
was
she was
great.
able to just kind of use herself, her own. She had to sound like the same way that like Joaquin Phoenix had to sound like Johnny Cash, right?
Yeah.
She had to sound like Judy Garland, and that's not easy to do. And it's the whole conversation we had with Kate about how you can mimic one of the greats. But it was, she really did it, and she
So
just
good.
became. And you go back and you watch interviews with Judy Garland. I mean, she channeled her. I mean, she really did. She crushed it.
It's sort of similar to what Michelle Williams did with Verdon.
Okay, can I say though? I watched the first 2 episodes.
Of Fosse Verdon?
Yeah, I still think that Patricia Arquette should have won that from Escape. I thought that Michelle Williams. I mean, maybe her performance gets
It's
even
unbelievable.
stronger.
I-
But the first 2 episodes, I was like, you guys said she disappeared. I didn't see.
I thought
that.
Michelle Williams. I said to my wife last night, "That's the best performance, man or female, I've seen in 10 years."
Yeah.
10 years.
Wow, and in the first 2 episodes, I would have known that.
No, I watched.
Okay,
I watched.
because I only saw the first 2.
I didn't see Michelle Williams even in those first 2.
Wow. Oh,
yeah.
she
didn't
just
see her
looked
in the
like
in the clips I saw.
She was good, but she was Michelle Williams.
I kind of disagree. I like Patricia Arquette is good at Escape at Dannemora, but it's not like what Michelle Williams did was
she disappears.
Yeah,
she becomes a woman from that pain. It doesn't seem like she's doing an accent from the 30s or whatever.
Because you got all those girls that did that. That's how we talked back then.
You guys told me that, and so I was like so excited. And
I said to Sadie last night, I was like, she better win because I don't know if I've seen a better acting performance, again, man or female, in the last 10 years. I thought it was the best performance I've ever seen in the last 10 years.
Interesting.
But
it was good.
So let's talk about the Emmys. They were atrocious. Atrocious.
Really?
Oh, it was the most boring fucking award show I've ever watched in my life.
Yeah,
it was such shit. It was
pretty boring.
it was
I'm sorry you feel that way.
Oh, it was so dull. It was because it's just to me, there was no show. I felt like I walked into a banquet. And they were just like, okay, we're just going to hand out things now, too. And there's no host because why? Because that's the thing to do now is not have a host. And, okay, cool. Why? Because the Oscars did it. Now that's what everybody's going to do is not have hosts because we're too scared to have a host out there. Okay, fine. So then it's like, then that person's going to present. What are they going to say? They'll tell a couple of jokes. The Jason Bateman bit was funny when they were kind of it was Colbert and Kimmel.
Yeah.
And they threw it in. That was funny. There were some bits that were funny. The show,
Bob Newhart.
Bob Newhart bit was funny.
Stoner was great.
But there was like bits, and then I'm like, I fast forwarded through most of the speeches because it's the same shit. I think that, and I don't know, maybe I'm just turning into an old fart, but like when it comes to these shows, I think Twitter and Facebook, I think when people complain about celebrities talking about politics on Twitter and Facebook, it's stupid because it's like it's their platform. You choose to talk to them. I'm tuning in to the award show to watch the awards. I don't necessarily.
I want to be entertained too. I want to be entertained.
Everything's so political.
I felt like it wasn't
Everything's
entertained.
so political.
Yes, totally.
I'm just kind of. I don't know. But you like the show.
I think I just watched for different things than you guys do. The speeches are my favorite part. I literally have wanted this so bad my entire life, and I'm sure that every person on stage feels that exact same way, especially when it comes to the Emmys. All I've ever wanted my whole life was to stand up there and give my Emmys acceptance speech, and I practiced. Every other girl was drawing their wedding dress, and I was drawing what I was wearing to the Emmys, and been writing my scripts, and like just so focused on.
So this is your thing.
So I love the Emmys. I think that I don't think that there's ever been a year where I was like, that was a shit Emmy. But I'm sure there are ones. But what I just think about what it means to these people, like Jason Bateman, 7 times nominated, first time win, not a great speech, but like what it probably means to him or the people giving these speeches. I just think it's like so incredible to watch somebody's entire life work get recognized in that way. Not that it should matter as much as it does, but it does.
Right. Oh, I think we're saying little different things here because the accomplishments and celebrating the accomplishments themselves and people winning for their. I'm with you.
Yeah, but that makes the whole show for me. So I don't really care about the rest of the stuff as much. Like, I like to be entertained, yes, but I thought the bits were fine and funny. Obviously, as a host in this space, I would prefer if they did have a host. It would be nice.
Yeah.
I just wanted it to be a show. It wasn't. It wasn't a show.
But to me, like, I thought that there were some really great surprises with a lot of the wins, which was really bowl.
Yeah.
And I liked seeing that, like Julia from Ozark. Like,
Totally.
that was.
Now, do you think Game of
She was
Thrones
incredible.
for both categories they canceled themselves out?
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, I did.
In some of the ones when they were all like, everybody knew Dinklage was going to win. Like he's a clear cut best. He had the best season of all of them, I think, as far as performance goes.
I kind of thought Nikolai was going to win that one.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. Only because Dinklage has previously won.
Yeah, he's won.
And
but since when has that stopped? Julia Dreyfus.
Totally, but this specific season, I feel like he had the biggest arc where he was like. No, I'm all in, and then was like, actually, I'm still motherfucking in love with my sister, so like, piss off everybody else.
Dinklage had that run all the way, I guess, towards the end, and then what he connected it all because whether it was
absolutely
with Danny or
and
Snow
deserved, and it was great. I just thought that's who they were going to throw it to instead.
Yeah.
But they didn't, and even his speech being like, "Thank you to being the most accepting and diverse community," because otherwise, obviously, I wouldn't be standing here. Like that to me is not political.
That's not
it's
politics.
Just like it's a human thing to
That's different,
right? And I just thought like. We crap on this industry a lot, and we crap on it for not being diverse enough and not being accepting enough, and that is true. We need to work harder, but he is right that there's not many industries where he would be accepting an award like this, and I was grateful that he said something positive about the industry.
Totally.
Yeah, I did too, and I think that's stuff like that. it's just other things that kind of keep popping up. I just wanted to be a show. I wanted to be a show again. I mean, I know that I get it. We live in different times now, man. We live different times. You got to always everything has to be so serious. Everybody has to tweet about stuff. Everybody has to do this. I'm just like, I just wanted to go back to that. Maybe I'm just a fucking simpleton. I just wanted to go back to where people are just watching entertainment to watch entertainment. You know what I mean? It's just everything. Everything is just a statement on everything, and it's not just this show.
Getting exhausting. The whole statement thing.
But it's everything. It's everything. It's and like I said this before, and people yell at me for saying like you got to choose a side, either right or left. I don't. I think both sides. It's just exhausting.
We got to meet somewhere in the middle at some point.
Yeah,
I think that
absolutely.
I don't necessarily disagree as an audience member, but if somebody gets 30 seconds on stage because they've worked their whole life to win an Emmy, I think they are literally allowed to say whatever they want to say.
They can. It doesn't mean I have to like it, though.
Definitely not.
Right.
I have the same thing on Twitter. I don't have to like it, but I think you've earned that time. Say what you want to say.
I just think the difference is that when
one is not your show, one is your page. I get the difference completely, but for me as a viewer,
you're okay with that
if you want to go up there and you want to say MAGA, vote for Trump, use your time to say why we should put the borders and the walls and whatever it is, that's your prerogative. And that doesn't mean I'm going to agree with you, but if you've worked your butt off for your whole career and that's how you want to spend your 30 seconds, okay.
I think you know what it is, Rox? I'm just exhausted.
I get it.
I think I'm just exhausted
too.
by it all.
with you,
It's
man.
like everything. It's just like people. I mean,
I know what you mean.
Just today, it's like, hey, you guys, no. I just like the most fun that I've had in this show. I think over the last like couple of weeks when we were just fucking around. That episode of Marlon Wayans when he came on and just goofing around. And
Sean.
Sean, excuse me.
Fine.
Sean Wayans when Sean came on and we were just goofing around, having a good time. And like that to me, that's and we talk about movie news, we talk about all that stuff. That to me is what I really want to do in this show. I think that it was on me. We made a mistake too many times talking about things. So it's like that's not our show. It's just not our show. It's like I want to have more kind of goofy, fun, fucking around conversations because I think that sometimes we need that. Sometimes people can tune in and they can go, oh, you know what? I'll tune into a different show for all the kind of serious conversations. Like, we're going to talk about farts. Sorry, guys. That's it.
Sweet.
It's like,
the cloud has gone down the tubes.
yeah. And I'm going to lead it on a fart tube.
My fart tube is that at the
fart tubes?
Can you find those in the
That's
fart?
the
it's
YouTube.
It's at the party at the
At
fart
the fart
tower.
tower?
It's at the
Yeah,
fart
you
tower.
can find the fart
Everybody
tubes
has
at the party at the fart tower.
Party at the fart
Well,
tower.
here's the
my-
thing. Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
No, you go.
My favorite comments that we get are the people who DM us. I think probably because they're slightly afraid to write this in public forum and because they'll get crapped on, but that's fine. They'll DM us and they'll be like, thank you. My life is really hard, and this makes me smile for like an hour or 2 hours a day, and I'm so grateful that you could take my mind off things. And I'm like, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
And I noticed we've been getting more of that recently because
Yeah.
we've stopped. We've had more fun, and we're goofing around,
totally.
playing songs, or just having conversations. Because it's just like I said, it's just exhausting. It's exhausting to get too heavy into people screaming at each other on social media, both sides. I'm fucking over it.
Well, we were texting on Saturday or whatever, and I was just like, I think that I just stopped paying attention to it.
Yeah.
Like I just did. I'm going to be me. I'm going to be positive. I'm going to be a nice person. I'm going to do the best I can with what I can, but I can't care about it.
Right.
I just can't care.
Yeah, I got yelled at for liking a movie, a different movie under praising a movie. So I got yelled at for a different movie off of a thing, and I'm
Right,
like,
so I
and I'm
mean,
trying to follow it, going,
What's the
happened?
thought
Why?
process?
Why are
Well,
you
just
yelling at me?
the way to get it noticed at
Yeah.
some point. But that's my point.
Yeah.
And it's that just in general. It's like someone will find something to
Always.
There's actually
yell about.
a really later on I'm going to be talking to Felicia Day. She wrote a book called Embrace Your Weird, and she actually wrote a part in here about social media and how it is so difficult to be creative when you are constantly on your social media. And she says, like, I'm not a monster. I'm not saying never check social media, but if you are trying to work on something, whether that's yourself, your creativity, a project, or whatever it is, it's so important to not be scrolling because you literally turn off you turn off part of your brain, or you're focusing on something that somebody said that has nothing to do with what you're actually trying to accomplish.
Well, it can throw you off into another pattern.
Bad.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
It's a great point. I've been closing Twitter and Facebook while I've been writing. I've been writing a lot lately, and I'm just closing out because I get so much done now. That is the perfect advice.
Yeah, it's incredibly true that if I am trying to do something and then I check I don't know, Twitter, or Instagram, whatever, it will set me off on such a path. Like,
Right.
I'll see one thing that will either bother me or somebody says something to me.
Or a positive thing.
Or a
that-
positive
yeah.
thing. And then I'm like, oh, sunshine and rainbows. I'm trying to write something
We're
like
just replying to having a conversation with somebody, having a good conversation with somebody, but you're still
But I'm
off
still
of the
not
path.
doing what I'm
Yeah.
trying to do.
Right.
You blink and
Right.
30 minutes has gone by.
And I
That's
think-
30 minutes you could have had.
I just like
Yeah.
to craft stupid jokes on Twitter, so that's how I think I get the most kick out of.
Oh, I think
of Twitter.
I'm getting some crap right now, I think, because I did say this morning, hot take, that Beyonce was never as strong without Destiny's Child. The most fire song she's ever had were with Destiny's Child, which is
Bills,
just
bills,
opening,
bills.
opening the doors for all the things.
Yeah.
I get it. I
some
mean, that's
people,
why I
the
tweeted out
Beehive.
on Batman Day when I was like, Michael Keaton is the best Batman. There is no argument. It's a fact. It's correct. Don't tweet at me because this is the real thing. And then
God.
I just opened the floodgates. You know, I like
Of course,
that.
you like
know, I
doing
like
that.
that. Yeah,
That's true.
Exactly.
You hold the cape
A little
and
bit.
wait for the bull to come running
yeah,
right,
and
right
then
at
the
you.
bull pokes me in the eyeball.
Yeah.
You should watch Fleabag though, because the fact that Phoebe Waller-Bridge
Listen,
took
man.
It's your show.
I know.
Yes.
I'm going to watch that. And then who said Killing Eve?
A lot of
I've seen
It's
Killing
also
Eve.
Phoebe Waller.
I just
Yeah.
started watching 2 episodes last night. Love it.
I know. I had this conversation with my wife last night. It was like we watched the first episode and I dug, and she's like, "You didn't find it that funny?" I was like, "I did." And she's like, "We didn't laugh out loud." I was like, "But I appreciate it."
I
She's
told you that it took me until after the first 2 to
that's what
laugh
I said.
out loud.
And I said, it was her thing. She didn't like the character, and then she's like,
I
she
didn't
just
either.
And then she just didn't find it funny, right? And I was like, I just want to finish. Now that I got the office set up, I'm just gonna watch the fucking thing.
I think she'll get there. I really do, because that second season,
You hated it at first.
I didn't hate it. I didn't
just
get
didn't
it.
get
I
it.
was like, this is a comedy.
Right.
Like, I am one of those people who likes a comedy to be something I laugh at.
Yeah. But does she ever get more likable?
Yeah, totally.
does?
I
Yeah.
think so.
Yeah.
I think so. Well, you just
I like-
you
I mean, I didn't mind
understand
her. I'm sure
you
she just
understand
doesn't
her a
mind.
little more.
Yeah.
So I think she gets more likable.
She reminds. See, none of you people know her, but the woman who basically started Ellis off in this crazy world of reviewing things, Martini Paratori, who's the daughter of the late Jim Paratori, who ran Telepictures, right? She reminds me of.
Why do I
Waller-Bridge.
feel like I know who that is though? Was she in your anything that you did?
I mean, she ran. She was an executive of her current TV, and then and she was a stand-up comedian, and I used to work with, and then that's why we got involved.
Like for instance, right, The Righteous Gemstones show on HBO right now. I haven't laughed in an episode until last night.
Oh,
But it's supposed
finally
to be
we
a
got there?
comedy. It was a very funny episode last night.
Okay.
Like I don't think that they've utilized the sister enough until this episode. It's very, very good.
You know what show
But
this is,
again,
Christian?
No.
This is the Danny McBride show with
Oh,
John
yes.
Goodman
Yes,
and
yes,
Adam
yes.
Devine, and so
What was
it-
that Adam Devine number, by the way, last night?
I don't know.
The music thing was weird.
Yeah.
I didn't quite get
I
that.
didn't get it.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Fine,
No.
but huh?
Yeah,
From
also.
out of nowhere.
And then he's that movie Jexy or whatever that I've seen a preview for. I don't understand what that movie's. Anyway,
Too many commercials.
It's like it's supposed to be a comedy, and I think if you can laugh at like. Everybody was laughing right away at Kenny Powers, right? This is like a whole nother kind of a Danny McBride. It's almost like a serious dramedy because I think you're supposed to find the comedy in the darkness of this whole thing, which is, I think, a lot of Fleabag is finding the comedy in the darkness, right?
Yeah.
And if we're talking about like making a statement and all that kind of stuff, and people always trying to make a Fleabag makes absolutely no statement at all, other than there are shitty people out there and we just have to live together.
And sometimes we're one of them.
Yeah, and sometimes we're one of them.
Not all the time, but yeah.
Okay, no, before I forget. I know somebody that is famous on this show, but has never been here, that does what you do.
Wait, what?
Becca M. Ford takes long-distance celebrity shots at parties and posts them on Twitter.
Oh.
She's like, "Oh, look, it's Hot Priest," and it's like a blurry picture of the guy from Fleabag. "Oh, look, the crowded dance floor. There's so and so," and it's just a blurry picture of a celebrity.
Wait, Josh, I saw you tweeted at her. Did she respond?
never.
She
I think
doesn't
she muted
respond.
me.
No, she
Yeah.
definitely muted.
The
it.
email
Of course
went
she didn't block you.
nowhere.
I'm not
Yeah.
blocked, I don't think.
You gotta figure. We gotta get.
Yeah, you would know.
So listen. So Roxy's doing a one-on-one interview with Felicia Day at the end of this episode at 11:30. We've got to make sure that we can get that one-on-one with you and Rebecca Ford.
Need it. It's a must.
It has to happen.
It's a
I mean, does
must.
anybody know? I don't know. We'll
She
figure it
works at Variety. Like
Isn't it
Snyder
Rocha
knows
that?
who she
I
is.
mean,
THR, yeah.
Rocha like literally S's her D because he's always tweeting at her like, "Good one, Rebecca M. Ford." Like, out of nowhere. I see those.
He just got back from London.
London.
You sound like you're from London.
Yeah.
But I will say, quick shout out to TV Talk because we'll definitely be talking more about the
Emmys,
Emmys,
sure. For sure.
Yeah,
Yes.
the
and
awards-
snubs
yeah.
and
Yeah,
exciting
yeah, yeah,
moments
and that
whatnot.
stuff, I thought all that stuff actually, people one that should have won. Good surprises. I loved the fact that the girl from Ozark won.
Yeah,
she
that was
cool.
great.
It
Billy
wasn't.
Porter.
I'm not reviewing the results of the
No,
show.
I know you're not.
I'm
You're talking
reviewing
about
the
actual
show.
entertainment.
I'm just looking as far as an entertaining thing, and it was cute because I watched the beginning of it like with my daughter, and she's like, I love the Emmy. She didn't have one fucking show that was on there, right? But she was watching. She was loving. She was having a good time watching, and she was enjoying it. Just being up with me watching it.
My grandparents say the same thing. They're like, we no longer know any of these shows.
Right.
So we know Game of Thrones. That's it.
That's it.
But they want the entertainment factor, and they were bored as
They're
hell.
bored out of
And
their
I
mind.
totally get
Yeah.
that. I just
It's an inside
watch
joke,
it.
the whole thing.
I watch it and just like reestablish and like dream of my biggest dreams.
Right.
And so for me,
That's
it's
a different-
always like
you're
the
watching it
dopest.
different eyes.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, I
and
get
just
it.
like.
What's the audience think? Alex. Oh wait. I would like to see what the audience thought of the show. Where do you stand last night? Did you think it was? Did you watch it through Roxy's eyes? Did you enjoy it, or did you watch it through my old fucking grouchy ass eyes and say that it stinks?
Don't think many people watch things through my eyes,
you never
as
know.
we've learned.
Wasn't there a movie where like somebody stuck old eyeballs in their face and then you saw like the murderer thing? Wasn't there like a
Yeah,
You mean
Hayden
Strange Days?
Hayden Christensen and Jessica Biel. What is that?
Oh shit! Right.
I love
remember
him.
that.
Blank?
No.
No?
What's
I
the
know what
movie?
you're talking.
That was Glick. Click.
No, I know.
No,
what you're
Click is Adam Sandler.
Right.
Yeah, well, we'll do that.
Glitch.
Yeah, we'll do it some other time. Listen,
Eyeball.
Yeah, yeah.
Ball by.
Ball bag.
It's not it.
Ball
It was
bag.
a
Bag of balls.
34-yard field goal that the guy missed, guys. Come on. 34 yards.
There
It
it
was
is.
30. It was pretty bad, but he hit a 52.
Who cares? It was the end of the game, Kristian.
How is Live 15 doing? I haven't asked you guys.
We
Are
don't
we
know.
slaying the
I'm
competition?
finding out.
Yeah,
I'm
we-
finding out.
we-
We've been ahead.
Yeah,
I do know that.
Well, that's a good transition here because Live 15 is the code that you get 15% off of heroesvillains.com, heroesvillains.com. And what we do know is that people have been going there and not just getting like a shirt. They've been going and checking out the hats because, like I said, we're not lying to you. There's tons
No,
of
the
great
jackets.
stuff. There's just great stuff over there.
Dude, I feel like Rambo in that camouflage shirt when I'm walking around here. Like I
It's
went
dope.
in the bathroom and I looked up and I was like,
Yeah, you're gonna wear that jacket around. Somebody sees you with it. You got to give it away, right?
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
for
So-
sure.
Oh my
That's
God,
right.
that's the best.
So don't forget that. Oh, so once again, make sure you go over to heroesvillains.com. Use the code Live15. Yeah, so we just beat
That
everybody.
gets you 15% off.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
you know what?
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
also going to get myself a dinner pretty soon because I made a bet with Kate.
Oh, with Kate.
Mulligan.
Yes.
That was the,
What's the bet?
the
dumbest
worst
bet
bet I
of all
think
time.
Kate has ever done.
Well, you know, how would you know? You haven't been around her. You
I've been around her
You would
enough.
say it was the best bet I ever made.
Yeah,
the easiest bet I ever
well,
made.
come on. You know when to
I know when to make the
swoop
bet.
in.
I
Yeah.
need to know what happened.
So we're talking about Ghostbusters, and I don't know.
This was
talking
Thursday.
about talking about Dan Aykroyd or somebody else, and I was like, Bill Murray. She's like, Bill Murray's not going to be in it. I go, you're out of your mind. Bill Murray's absolutely going to be in this. She's like, no, never going to get him to do it. I was like, he was in the Paul.
Why
Feig.
was she saying that?
I don't know. I was like, he was in the Paul Feig one. Like she hasn't signed on yet, and I'm like, he's going to be in it, and she's like, all right, let's make a bet. No, I probably said that first, and then we did, and we bet the steak dinner on it, like we always do, or I'd probably just do a sushi dinner, make it a little cheaper.
Yeah.
I want fucking sushi.
But well, listen to me. So we get this report at the Collider Live Facebook group. He's already been seen talking to Ivan Reitman and everything, like in Toronto at dinner with them. Like it's inevitable.
Yeah, he's probably already shooting,
So-
and
so-
he's
yeah.
I
and
mean,
they're
just
just
in
not.
what world would he not? That's
I don't
that's
know.
not like his MO to not come back.
This was
No.
this was the text that I sent Kate yesterday. I posted this in the Collider Live Facebook, and I said I sent a picture of you and me sushi, right? And then she goes, "What is this?" I go, "Oops, this is probably a better explanation." And then I sent Bill Murray's scene sitting down.
Yeah.
And she said, "I can't believe you didn't think he'd be in the movie. What a loser."
Yeah, it's
it's inevitable.
I mean,
It's like Thanos.
yes, 100%. Have you started watching Working Moms yet?
It's like
I already
Thanos.
saw like an episode
okay.
or two. I haven't seen all of it.
Speaking of Reitman.
Speaking of the right man. Okay, look. The other thing I wanted to tell
wanna find the
everybody
right
was that we
man.
actually put out this is a promotion. This is why I say you should probably go to if you're in the Facebook group for Schmodown or following me, is over the weekend we did a cool little promotion. It's not available now, but we're going to do other promotions. We did a promotion where if you,
yeah, I saw that.
it was for 24 hours only. And we said that if you bought a ticket, then you got upgraded to meet and greet like that. But we only had 24 hours to do it, and it was like 30 people. Boom, 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 boom.
That's
got
great.
it within. It was a little 25 people that got it, and we're gonna do another promotion. But October 19th, Florida, we will be there. October 19th.
Can I come?
I don't know. Dan Murrell, John Roca versus Corruption for the titles, and then the singles finale is going to happen. And speaking of
Who's
these,
in that?
So
We don't know
We don't
yet.
know yet. Right now, where we're at, because we can talk about your match now because it's aired publicly.
I
What
know
a
who's in
match
it.
with the Wildberries and Late to the Party.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah.
Elliot Dewberry hitting a perfect round. Unbelievable.
Big time.
You guys almost blew that one, though.
I
at
know
the
we
end.
did. Yeah, that was close.
How much drinking was involved?
I mean, I finished basically that magnum of Pinot Grigio.
Yeah. It was mild berries.
Yeah,
It was mild berries.
Mild berries.
Yeah.
No, it was.
They're fun, the Late to the Party.
They're great.
Yeah.
They were awesome.
Pinot
Just such-
berries, more like grapes.
All right.
It was a good match, though.
It was a great match.
Great match.
They're a lot of fun. I mean, it was a blast to do. I had a ton of fun. I love competing and answering questions. I think that it was a good. I mean, them getting opponent's choice obviously was their biggest help. For
But
sure.
it gives you guys. Well, they also gave you a nice category, I thought, too, when they hit opponent's choice.
when they had 80s. Yeah.
Well, they gave you 80s. I think, they made it fun.
Yeah.
They made it fun and kept it. And it
Do you
kept
think
like a
that's
nice
why
fight.
they did it, or do you think that they?
Well, we spun and it hit 80s and we passed on it.
Yeah.
So they
and then
figured.
I think.
Because I don't think that they did it for that reason. I think,
a little
they
both.
thought it was.
Then maybe I think a little maybe a little column A, a little column B.
Maybe.
But
What were you hoping that they wouldn't give you?
I think on there was modern classics, and I think I would try and go away from that.
people get
Why?
scared of the modern classics.
I'm all for it.
I
What
would
is-
dive into it.
what is that
jump right in.
technically?
Jones,
No, but what's
Back to the
technically-
Future.
What is
Oh.
technically a modern?
like what I just said.
No, what years?
I mean, I think probably.
I think you could look at Godfather.
Jaws.
Like, could you have a
Jaws?
modern classic from the last decade or no?
Yeah. I mean, like it depends.
Shawshank Redemption?
Shawshank
There
Redemption.
you
That's
go.
not last 10 years, but
It's close.
It depends on you get tricky in the
Not
last
really
10 years.
anymore.
Yeah, oh God, I know. I just said that
Toy
out
Story
loud and went,
3,
wait a
I think
minute.
Toy Story 3 would modify as would
Modern
be
classic?
a modern classic.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What do you guys
Maybe
think is the biggest modern classic of the last 10 years?
Modern classic the last 10 years.
John Wick
Yeah.
is an action classic.
Action classic John Wick.
That's going to be an action classic.
Yeah, but it's not the biggest modern classic of the last
Not
10
bigger.
years.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, what's
I would say just outside of the 10 years is Dark Knight. The Dark Knight.
Dark Knight?
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure.
Inception?
That's 11.
When's
I
that?
thought of Inception too. Yeah, I mean, it's not
Inception.
10 years. Yeah, there's a lot of that
La
category.
La Land?
No.
I think people would argue against it, but I wouldn't.
Not Mance, but
Whiplash.
I love that movie.
It was my
Whiplash.
favorite movie
it's
that year.
good.
You guys let us
Modern
know
classic.
in the comments below.
Nice, Blonda LaRousse.
Thank you, Randy.
Anyway, then that was a great match. And then we led into the phenomenal singles match between Bibiani and Chance Ellison.
Who won that one?
Bibiani.
Oh, wow.
Chance misses the 5-pointer. Chance hit a perfect round. They
I'm
both hit
so-
perfect round, but he hit the bonus question.
Okay.
And then at the end,
what was the bonus question?
I don't remember. But at the very end, Bibiani hits his 5. Chance does not. Bibiani advances to play Ethan Irwin in the second round. That's a heavyweight title match.
I mean, I think
Literally.
that they are two of the scariest people in the entire league.
Yeah, it's going to be really.
Yep.
Really.
If not the two scariest.
It's gonna be good.
Because you just don't. What Bibbs can pull is insane.
Yeah.
Like if it was all round one knowledge, Bibbs would just keep on
Yeah.
winning.
Well, that's a round 2 match. Round 1, we have 2 more matches left in the first round. Bateman plays against Liz Shannon Miller, and that goes down this Thursday. For patrons, it goes up today and tomorrow. And then we're not airing one on Friday, but on Saturday live, Mike Kalinowski plays Janine the Machine, live throwdown, 11:30, and you can go and you can check that out at theschmodownlive.com. That'll be the last first round matchups until we start round 2 next week.
Okay.
All right.
Have you talked any more about what is going on? I don't know how else to phrase that without giving things away.
Oh,
The
everything. The nuke. The nuke
Yeah.
will be announced at 11:30. Well, during the throwdown, it's going to be. It'll probably be Mike and Janine, and then right after that will be the announcement of what the nuke is.
I'm freaking out.
Yeah.
It's a nuclear.
It's Burnett threw the nuke in there. It's gonna, and he says it's gonna change the landscape of everything of what the Schmodown is, was, and could be. And so all the players and managers are freaking out about it. I know what it is, and I'm gonna announce it, and I agreed to it.
So like to explode the lead is what we're calling
He
it.
doesn't. He hasn't been cleared to everybody yet, and people keep trying to figure out what.
Is he
it
like
is.
a commissioner now or
He
something?
was, not anymore. But anyway, so you'll find out if you go.
Welcome to the team, Josh.
Yeah,
Yes,
I mean,
so go-
listen, I compete. when I drink.
And that's what you do.
And I know things.
Kind of.
Sort of.
Anyway, so if you want to check all that
80%
stuff
of
going on,
100%.
you can always go on over to the Schmoedown channel. We got some live streams going up this week too. But let's move on to some movie news before because we have a couple giveaways we're going to do. We have one of the hats from Heroes Villains. We're
No
gonna
way.
Give away. Yeah, we're going to give away a hat.
me?
No, not to you because you can call in today and get in maybe. But let's talk about some movie news, things that happen over the weekend, happening now.
Do you want to keep
breaking
going?
news, guys.
Oh, breaking
I have
news.
some breaking news.
What
over
is
here.
it? What is it?
I got a list of names.
Yes.
And I want to see if you guys know what the connection is. All right.
Okay.
We have Mike Nugent, Connor Barth, Ryan Lindell, Patrick Murray, Kyle Brinza, Roberto Aguayo, Nick Folk, Cairo Santos, Chandler Cantozaro, and Matt Gay. Do you guys know what those names are?
The cast of the Pokemon sequel.
It's the list of Buccaneers kickers since 2009. Once again, none of them are any good. It's really frustrating to be a fan of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers
I
right
love
now,
you,
guys.
Cody, so much.
I literally was like, who the?
I was like, Suicide Squad.
That's good, Cody.
Cody on
poor-
friggin'
That's so
fire.
good.
Poor bastard. What are they, 1 and 2 now?
Yeah.
Sorry. Buddy.
Have you
So
guys
wait.
not had a good kicker since Martin Gramatica accidentally tore his ACL jumping up and down?
We had Matt Bryant, who
Oh,
was
yeah.
good, and then became a Hall of Famer with Atlanta.
Right. Sorry, Cody. What happened to Janikowski? When did he retire? He was a
Sebastian
Raider.
Janikowski? I think he might still be in the league. I swear.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, I went to
30
school. I went to
years.
school
Did
with
you?
him. Yeah, I went to
Yeah,
school with him.
yeah.
I remember.
Really?
He used to go to Potbellies all the time at the bar, and he would just be. I mean, I kicked the ball.
Yeah.
I like to kick the ball. I
Well, the-
I
Yo,
just
what is
kicked
this
the ball.
Potbellies thing people are talking about? When
Yeah.
I was just in Virginia, everybody was like, "Did
Is
you
there
go to
Potbellies over there?
Potbellies?"
Well, there's a Potbellies bar. I don't know. Maybe they opened up a new one, but it was.
What
it
is
was
it?
like,
A sandwich place?
No, you're. That's another.
That's thinking pork
That's
bellies.
That's
No.
Po' Boys, right? Is that what you're
No,
thinking
that's New Orleans sandwiches.
I don't know what I'm thinking of, to be honest.
of? It's all right. Let's just move
Nailed
on.
that.
What
Let's
are we?
move forward.
So
God.
do we actually have real movie news?
I mean, barely, but we do have a Frozen 2 new trailer
Okay.
that dropped.
I watched it. Did you watch it?
I did
watched
watch it.
Yeah.
I like this trailer a lot. And
Yeah,
I'll
me
tell you
too.
why I did. Because this, you could tell they had their first movie. They got lucky with the story because it worked. It was great. It was different. But it was simple.
Yeah.
This is involved. This is them from the second movie saying, okay, we had this popular movie. Now let's really expand on the lore because you can tell. I mean, shit, man, it's been what, 7 years since the movie, or 6 years?
2013.
6 years. So,
Wow.
So this movie, you're going to explore why she's got the magic. Elsa, that is, you know, like she's hearing voices. She goes into this like forest. All these different things. I liked it. I thought it was a good change to do the same stuff that they were doing in the past. Did you like it, Rox?
Yes.
Yeah?
I did. I really like it. I think we were just in an earthquake, not positive. So I was looking at the light to see if it was shaking, which it was a little bit, but unclear.
Did you
That's
feel
why
an
I paused.
earthquake?
On my feet, it did. Did you guys
You
not
think it
feel
was just
that?
me
I didn't
shaking?
feel anything.
It might have been. Anyway, about Frozen. Yes, I definitely like this trailer. I'm obsessed with the fire line. Don't follow me into the fire,
yeah.
and don't go into the fire.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
I feel like that is it.
Sister.
How often have you guys felt that way about like either your siblings or somebody that you love so much,
Right.
best friend, whatever? Where it's like, then don't fucking make me follow
Right.
you into the fire because you're the one who's going. So I like when these animated movies actually mean more than just like the casual. To me,
Right.
Frozen was not my favorite because it was very surface level to me, and there were some twists and turns that were fun, and there's some beautiful music, but it was like,
It went away.
okay, I get it.
Yeah, it went away from the stereotypical stuff that they normally did and what Disney was known for. So that's what a lot of
Right,
people
people
got praised
liked
for.
about it.
But this is different.
This seems like
yeah.
it's deeper. Like
Yeah.
we're really going for it. I like that we're bringing back like childhood lore, and it looked interesting to me. And as opposed to the earliest trailer where I watched it and was like, so what's happening in this movie?
Right.
Now I'm finally like, oh yeah, this
Yeah.
seems really cool.
Riley, you hate everything. What do you think about
I
it?
hate everything. Yeah, I'm with you on the mythology. I like going in on that magic stuff and with Frozen or with Elsa. So it works for me, and the animation continues to just blow me away. It looks so beautiful.
Yeah, it did.
did look really
Did you get a
good.
chance to watch it?
I didn't. Like,
Yeah,
I
you're a big animated musical guy. It's everything that you don't like.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah.
like, okay, I get it. I'll
Right.
see. I mean, it's going to be a good Disney movie with whatever, but it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, fine.
Fine.
All right,
It's
what are you
fine.
looking at, Rox?
It's
What do you
not
got?
Seeing
Rambo.
if we were in an earthquake.
Don't worry about that right now.
I am worried about it. We're supposed to like get under a
Cody,
table
were
or
we in
something.
an earthquake?
We're not in an earthquake. Please don't do that right now.
Don't you
They'll
think
fight.
so?
They'll tell us if we're gonna die.
I think we'd know if we were.
I
in
just
a-
don't understand in 2019 when we feel like if you're in an earthquake and people just keep doing what they're doing, like we've been trained, right? We're supposed to
This is not. This is like, if it was.
We
Going,
would know if we need
if
to
this is moving
do
like
something.
this, then it's like, okay, guys, we're going to take a break because the walls are falling off.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you're okay.
All right.
Were you just looking at the lamp moving? The China ball?
The lamp was. I don't even know if we were in one, so I wanted to check to see if we should like get in the door or something.
The door is wrong.
Yeah, the door's
Everybody
wrong.
knows that.
I would
What's that
get under
mean?
the
What's that
table.
mean?
You're not supposed to get in the door anymore.
No. the
What are
door-
you supposed to do?
Under the table.
Under the table.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So.
Are you scared of earthquakes or something?
I am.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes. I mean,
I
that's,
think you have to be an idiot not to be.
I'm not.
What?
I think they're the coolest.
You're afraid of everything.
I know.
No, like.
Can I'm derailing this
Yeah,
conversation
go ahead.
because Thursday night, ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen.
Yep.
Thursday night, it goes down. Universal, scary fucking night.
Oh.
And are you? So what's the deal? You in?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I think I am.
Okay, cool.
good.
So here's our crew. I think the crew is me, you, Dorina, Josh, Riley, and Katie Sackhoff. Yes. Okay, good.
That's
so
it.
that's
But what are we doing?
Frank.
What are we
And Frank.
doing
Frank.
here?
Frank's going to record it.
No, but what are we doing here?
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
What do you guys mean?
The hell are you talking
What's
about?
You asked the question.
Yeah, you asked a question.
Okay. Never mind.
You mean meeting here to go together?
Yeah,
we
yeah,
can
yeah.
always meet just there.
Oh,
That's
okay.
fine.
Because
Yeah.
Riley was like, you have to be here an hour and a half early so that we can tape
no,
something
you're not
before we
here
go
that day,
there.
so
And
you're
I was
saying,
like,
we'll
oh,
fix-
so why do I have to drive to
It's
Burbank?
just the beginning. Like we're going to do like an intro or something, but that intro can be done. I think the intro could just be myself and Josh just prepping it.
it's
and then
fine.
we-
Okay.
And then we.
So
No,
I
no,
mean,
no,
you
I'm
don't-
getting more. I'm getting more. I'll let you
Details
know
coming.
all the details.
How long do we have to be there?
All night until 3 a.m.
Yeah.
No, I'm
What?
just kidding.
Really?
No. But I
Hide your kids, hide your wives.
Is it at night? Is it dark?
Yes.
yeah, of course.
Are you making a joke or no?
No.
I'll tell you
Halloween
this.
Horror Nights. You
Oh,
think it's
yeah,
during the
makes
daytime?
sense. Yeah.
I'll tell you this.
Dusk,
we
maybe.
have to meet at a maze at 6.
I love that.
And the maze is
It's
TBD.
just for us
Well,
or
I know
no?
what it is. Yeah, for us, all of us. Yeah.
I've never been to Halloween Horror Nights.
Me neither.
Look at
actually.
him.
I'm thinking.
Yeah, I'm not
going-
telling. I'm
you
not
going into
telling
a
you
deep
what
panic?
the maze is.
Universal. Well, it's not. It's got to be. I mean, it's not going to be it, obviously, because it's
Should
Warner
we
Brothers.
handcuff him to himself?
No, I don't think you need to.
Handcuff me to who?
Yourself.
What do you mean?
I'm just scared you're gonna hurt somebody.
No,
no,
he
I
says
don't
he
get
doesn't punch.
physical.
He says
Okay.
he doesn't punch. He just.
I don't mean
he'll-
on purpose.
No,
I
he'll
just
be
mean-
screaming.
Like-
Katie wrote me though. 'Cause she's like, "What should I expect?" I said, "The loudest screams you've ever heard."
Yeah.
I said, "That's what you should expect."
And we can do an update tomorrow. I'm jumping on with somebody from Universal
Okay.
after the show today to
Will
get
you
more.
prepare them for him though? No, I'm serious.
Yeah, I will.
You got to let
I
them know
will.
that it's not a shtick, and that it's like, and they got to know that this is what they're gonna get when
Yeah.
when we get him in.
I
There.
like. I've fainted before.
Right.
I was telling my mom, I was like, because I'm going back up to San Francisco this week again because my brother turns 40 this weekend, and she's like, "What are you doing this week?" I was like, "Well, Thursday I have to go to this Halloween thing." She's like, "Oh no." She was like, "What do you mean?"
Oh,
I was
dear
like,
Lord.
"Well, they do this like Halloween Horror Nights at Universal, and they like scare a bunch of people." She goes, "Are you going with friends?" And I said, "Yeah, we're actually doing it for the show." And she goes, "Oh, so somebody's taping it?" And I said, "Yeah." My mom was like, "Okay, well, make sure you breathe, and because remember that one time you fainted." And I was like, "Yeah, I do."
I know, man. I'm
Should you breathe?
Yeah, it's like.
How did this happen, Dorina?
So
Yeah,
well,
Dorina.
I mean, as far as her getting us there, yes, Dorina made the calls and got it done. The idea came about a year ago because it was just very impromptu, and I said to Josh, "We got to do it." He's like, "No, I'm never doing that." And I turned to him. I remember right where we were, right outside, and I said, "Come on for the bit." And he looks at me and goes, "All right."
Amazing.
And I was like, let's go tonight. He's like, "I can't go tonight because I had something." He's like, let's go whenever it was the next couple of days, and we couldn't do it. So like, all right, we'll do it next year. And I was like, if we do it next year, you got to go. He's like, I'll do it. And true to his word, he didn't, not once did he fight. All he said, which I think was very fair, was you got to pay for my drinks and my food, everybody. So everybody's going to buy him either a drink or something to eat, or whether that's the agreement. So,
Yeah.
all right, have
Okay.
some fun.
It's I mean,
It's fun that Katie's going.
You're afraid of that, but you're not
Yeah.
afraid of earthquakes, which are actually going to kill us.
yeah, no. I
maybe.
think that I've only felt the one, and I was like, "Whoa, that was cool."
The one.
Well, if you think about it, cavemen just fell.
Yes, they did.
That was it. They just fell. They didn't have buildings fall on them.
No.
They would just walk. They'd fall. They'd shake. They'd fall. They'd get back up and they'd go away.
Shake.
What are you talking about?
Cavemen, when earthquakes happened,
Yeah.
they would just walk. There was no buildings.
Yeah,
They'd
nothing's-
shake. They'd fall down. They'd get up and then they'd go away.
But now there are buildings.
Yeah, but that's why the cavemen had it a little easier.
Duh. All they needed to do was draw in caves and
That was
hunt.
it. You just got to make sure that it
Survive.
didn't happen in the
Well, they had to
What
run
was
out of
the
the cave,
average
though,
life
during-
expectancy of a caveman?
20.
5.
We know because he and I are from the caveman.
That's hysterical.
We are distant
Just like,
relatives.
So you had to like
of a
have
cave.
babies real fast.
Oh, yeah.
Where is this?
Well, what else were you doing?
I'm going to take us out with this,
Building
and
the
then we're going to go
cave.
to break. We'll come back. We'll see if there's any more news.
Maybe I don't want. Baba. Maybe I want. Punch.
All right, and with that,
good.
we will see you guys after the break.
Was there an earthquake when Matt Gay hit the field goal because he missed it?
Hey guys, it's Perry here to let you know that Movie Talk is moving. We've had a great time in this 3 p.m. Pacific slot, but guess what? We want you to start your day with Collider Movie Talk, so we're moving. 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern. It's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to get a longer show with some brand new segments, so tune in starting Monday, September 16th, 9 a.m. Pacific. See you there.
Wow. Hey everyone, John Roca here, the host of Collider Sports Time. Well, you know, if you've been watching us every week, you know we break down the latest and the greatest in the world of sports, talking about the big issues, the big games, all of it with a rotating band of guests like Matt Nose and Josh McCouga. We've had Taylor Bisciotti
this is John
on.
Roca.
We've had so many great guests. Now, if you want to see more of Sports Time or you want to try it out for the first time, remember to subscribe to Collider Sports YouTube channel for all the sports goodness.
Hey guys, it's Riley here. Let me tell you about the Riley Roundtable. You know it, right? It drops every Thursday on Collider Conversations, and I have guests from all across the space. John Roca, Gray Drake, Alexander Desplat came on at one point. We talk everything from movies, we talk about life, and everything in between. What do you want to hear? What do you want to talk about? It's the Riley Roundtable every Thursday on Collider Conversations. You get it there.
Lucky Frank.
Hi, I'm Coy Jandro, host of Collider Heroes, and I'm here to tell you we've got 20-minute episodes coming at you on Collider Video, on the YouTube, as you've always loved it. Plus, now we've got hour-long podcasts dropping every Thursday, so make sure to subscribe to the podcast because it's going to get even more sweaty on the podcast. Plus, every week we're going to try to get some very special guest interviews, all of the people that help shape these movies and TV shows you love. So, video, podcast, interviews, all coming at you. Be sure to subscribe. Thanks so much, guys. Stay sweaty.
Well, hello there. I'm Ken Knapsack, one of the hosts of Collider Jedi Council, and I'd like to invite you to listen to our show, watch our show. It's on every Thursdays on the Collider Video channel, and it's also available in podcast form if you'd like to listen to our sweet voices on Collider Jedi Council, me, Kristian Harloff, and a bevy of guests, I say, talk Star Wars. We celebrate Star Wars. We dig into the Star Wars news. We speculate everything about Star Wars, including your questions. So join us on Collider Jedi Council. You're going to have a great time.
What's up, Collider fans? Ryan Satin here from ProWrestlingSheet.com, where you can find the top stories throughout the week in the world of professional wrestling. If you're a wrestling fan like myself, then you'd be doing yourself a disservice by not checking out all the shows we do every week on YouTube.com/C/Wrestling Sheet. In particular, on Wednesdays, we've got a SmackDown recap show hosted by John Roca and myself, where we pick apart and talk about every little thing that happened on the Blue Brand. So do yourself a favor and go subscribe at youtube.com/C/Wrestling Sheet.
Okay. Hey guys, Riley here, and let me tell you about Rule of Two. You looking for a Star Wars fix? Well, Rule of Two is that show. It drops on Collider Video's main YouTube channel, as well as on Podcast One's Jedi Council feed. So go over there, subscribe, share it with your friends. It's hosted by myself and Mark Fernandez. We talk everything in the Star Wars universe with a lot of deep dives and a lot of conversations that go all in. You know what to do. Subscribe, join us there, and rise.
What a twist. Hey everyone, John Roca here, the host of Collider Mailbag. New episode drops every Saturday and Sunday in your face and in your ears, answering the questions from you fans about the world of entertainment, film, and television. Me and great guests from our sphere do the best to answer your questions from Twitter, from Instagram, and of course, email as well every Saturday and Sunday.
Hello, how are you guys doing? I'm Kristian Harloff. I'm the host of Collider Jedi Council. We talk about everything Star Wars. It's movie news, it's canon, it's all of it. We take questions from you guys. How do you do it? Main channel, that's right here. Subscribe to this channel. But if you want to just listen to it, you got the podcast feed too. Apple Podcasts, you can listen to it in your car. Do all of it. It's Star Wars. Episode 9's coming out, and then after Episode 9, you got TV shows, so we're going to be your sports center for Star Wars. Do it. Come on, be real.
Hi, I'm Amy Dallin, one of the hosts of Collider Heroes, and starting right now, you can catch our show Tuesday nights with a new Collider Heroes and a longer Collider Heroes podcast, where Coy and I are gonna talk your ears off. You already know that's coming. So make sure to go to YouTube, subscribe, and find us on the Collider Heroes podcast feed for all of that sweaty goodness.
The Witching Hour is all over Collider right now. You can listen to that horror-filled podcast with myself, with Haley Fouch. We talk about witchiness, we talk about slashers, we talk about space horror, you name it, all on that show on the Collider Factory feed. And on top of that, you can find an article all about Witching Hour every single Tuesday on Collider.com. Check it out, get scared. Hopefully you survive the Witching Hour.
We're back, everybody.
Is this the song that the Tampa Bay plays in sadness?
It's funny, Josh.
Welcome back to Giant Celebration Talk. This is
the Daniel Jones Show.
It's the Daniel Jones Show. Do you hate him now, Cody?
Not a fan.
Okay. Welcome back, everybody. Listen, at 11:30, Roxy's going to be talking to Felicity. I was going to say Felicity Jones.
Felicity Jones,
Yeah,
one of my favorites.
Definitely not Felicity
Basketball Jones.
Yes.
To Felicia Day.
Felicia
Yeah.
Day. Felicia Day is coming in. We're going to talk about Embrace Your Weird. But I do have to bring up weird.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Terrence Howard.
Oh, I heard about this.
At the Emmys last night.
Oh, yeah.
What happened?
I don't know.
Can we play this?
Yeah, let's play it because he started going on this tangent that I was like, oh, here we go.
Why can we play this?
We're
Because
going
it's an
down
interview.
it's
That's
a
fine.
red carpet
It's
interview.
fine.
It's on there.
I heard that he
Here we go.
flipped out at a TSA.
Listen to this first.
Lucius is in the house. Terrence Howard here. You made huge headlines when you said after you complete these 15 episodes of Empire, you got to walk away for a while or forever.
For good. I mean, everyone keeps trying to tell me don't say it's forever, but I spent 37 years pretending to be people so that people can pretend to watch and enjoy what I'm doing when I've made some discoveries in my own personal life with the science that, Pythagoras was searching for. I was able to open up the flower of life properly and find the real wave conjugations that we've been looking for 10,000 years. Why would I continue, walking on water for tips when I've got an entire generation to teach a whole new world?
That's a big remark. What do you intend to do?
Well, let me put it this way. All energy in the universe is expressed in motion. All motion is expressed in waves. All waves are curved. So where does the straight lines come from to make the platonic solids? There are no straight lines. So when I took the flower of life and opened it properly, I found a whole new wave conjugations that expose the in-between spaces. It's the thing that holds us all together.
Okay. Now, two things with this. One, I want him and Gary Busey to have a podcast.
Yes.
Yeah.
Two, what if he's right? What if? It doesn't matter.
I think he just discovered the force.
I'm
That's
just
what it
saying.
sounds like.
It's just we don't get it, but he's right.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
What if it's a movie that, what a fucking crazy person, but what if he's the guy that figured it all out?
I always
Terrence
think about
Howard,
it like he has a beautiful mind.
Yeah, the original
Yeah.
roadie figured it out.
I always think about this.
What if he found portals and he knows how to save time and do all these things and he figured it out?
What if
Yes.
he's on acid?
Possible.
Okay.
Right.
Just giving other suggestions.
Also
other
possible.
possibilities.
Have you seen?
I'm just saying.
Do you know what? Farts. Okay, so there's peyote, but there's this other thing in Peru. there's a drug in Peru.
I
Do
know
you know
what
I'm talking about? Forget the name of it. It's like it's not pisco.
No,
it's
like paya or taya.
Something like that,
What
right?
is it called?
But these people have gone and just stayed in Peru, and they figured that they found the meaning of life through this drug, and they sound exactly like that.
like him. I'm telling you.
Ayahuasca?
No, it's not ayahuasca.
I believe Terrence Howard has figured out the world. He was on an interview with some man on KTLA, and he knows.
Trying to break it down for a second, though.
Gary just got cut off like a boss.
Sorry. I do feel like what he was trying to say, what I am interpreting it as, why would he stay on this show when he has so much
Figured
more
it
to
out.
give
Yeah,
and
I
has
got
figured
that.
it out.
Yeah.
And so he would like to take that next step into a different project to give people a bigger understanding of the universe. That's what I think he was trying to say.
That's exactly
right?
what he said, but it just
Okay.
but it's like all
It just kind of came out of nowhere.
It just came out of nowhere. It's like, hey, so are you really retired? Yeah. I'm going to retire after this. And by the way, I figured out the meaning of life, and I can go through portals in space.
What was the name of the guy on the right doing the interview?
Sam something, right?
Yeah, he's the guy that runs
KTLA.
He did an excellent
Sam
job.
Rubin?
He did an
Sam Rubin.
excellent
He
job.
did a phenomenal job of
It's a
where
big
because-
statement.
That's a huge statement.
As opposed to what the fuck did you just say?
Yeah, and the blonde girl on the left was like,
No, she's just like she stayed out of it.
She's smiling and like
He was smiling.
Yeah, she's like, wait,
No,
what's
he
going
did,
on?
whatever his name is, he did an
Yeah, he
excellent
runs
job.
the
Yeah,
BFCA.
I've seen
Yeah.
him a bunch of times. I just forget what his
Yeah,
name
yeah,
is.
that was he also had had like one of the major flubs of all time when he had
Sam Jackson.
Sam Jackson.
Oh,
on,
yeah.
and he asked Sam Jackson. He said he's talking about you got this movie. He's like, tell me about that Super Bowl commercial. And Sam Jackson goes, what Super Bowl commercial? And then Ruben goes. Starts looking around. He's like, I'm not Lawrence Fishburne. Like,
Yeah.
just screaming at him. He's like, we don't all look alike. He's screaming at him, and Ruben's like, I'm sorry. It's on. It's
Is that what happened? He thought he was Lawrence
That was
Fishburne.
Lawrence Fishburne.
Oh, yeah.
and Sam Jackson just lit him up. But he's a phenomenal.
Did he light him
been
up as a joke, or he lit him up?
a little both. A little both. But he had fun with it. He had fun with it, but he was still kind of like
I wish
get your shit
that
together.
Kobe Smulders did
Yes,
that.
I
We
was
don't all
like,
look
oh,
alike.
I know Kobe Smulders handled it very nice. But
That's
but
amazing.
Sam actually did a great job here. I agree with you, Roxy. Like he just pure nonsense coming out of his mouth, and he just goes, "Oh, really interesting. How would you combat that nonsense?"
100%.
the
Yeah,
way
it's
you
good.
just said, but what if he's right? Now I'm thinking like,
What if he's right?
What if he's right?
That's what I'm
What if-
saying. What if
and
he
I love
figured
that
it
Terrence
out?
Howard was like, I'm pretending to be somebody for 37 years, and you pretend to watch. I'm like,
Right.
but
Yeah,
dude,
when he said
Did-
that, I was
yeah.
like,
Did you
ooh.
ever see
Not
Dark? You've seen Dark
pretending.
City, right? The original Matrix before the,
Oh,
the
yeah,
Matrix
yeah,
was. Dark City.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
Oh my god,
It's
She's never
great.
seen The Matrix.
William Hurt.
So I definitely haven't seen Dark City.
Dark City is amazing. So, but it's the same thing. It's like everyone thinks that the one guy and the guy's writing on the walls and he's fucking lunatic. It's like, oh, that's a crazy person. But he knew the secret, and he knew that these aliens were running around the city and like strange. Roddy Piper looked like a maniac, and They Live because he's put sunglasses on everybody. But once you put the fucking sunglasses on, you saw it. Maybe we haven't put the sunglasses
It's
on.
every
Right.
homeless person that I've ever met, and they're saying something,
Right.
and I'm like, maybe they know.
Maybe
they're
when-
talking to
maybe they are
somebody.
talking to
yeah,
someone.
somebody,
Yes.
Right.
and I'm the idiot.
Right.
Like, what if we're on the flip?
Right. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
100%.
Right, maybe we're the crazy people.
100%. I
Right.
remember I told you guys about my kidnapping.
Yes.
By the guy who's
Yeah, yeah.
schizophrenic.
Yeah.
I remember that 90% of me thought this guy is crazy, he's losing
Right.
it, whatever, and 10% of me was like, oh wow,
Maybe you should jump to his
I
team.
have to listen to what he's saying because I'm going to die if I don't listen to it. Like that small percentage was like, what if he is right?
Right,
so
right.
my first thought always, Kristian,
course.
I'm with you. Looking at it, I'm like, but what if?
What if?
He
Maybe
knows
Terrence
something
Howard
we
cracked
do
the
not-
code. Maybe he cracked the code.
You know, he dated a girl that I worked with at a bar. She was a waitress, and he dated her.
Terrence
And
Howard did.
Terrence Howard did, and he came in, and he was off. Like he was a little weird.
He
You
was
know
a
what I
little
mean?
weird too. I
he's-
dealt with him at Warner Brothers too.
Yeah, like there was something a little missed
Yeah.
up there.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, there's a reason he
Great
wasn't-
actor.
Yeah, great actor. There's a reason he wasn't War Machine going forward. I mean,
Well, he wanted more money.
Oh, is that
That's
what it
happened.
was?
Yeah, he wanted more
Okay.
money. He wanted as much money as Downey.
oh,
Yeah, and then you know, at the time, not too crazy because Downey was, you know, still trying to get insured, and when you look, it's funny now when you think about how big Iron Man is to the overall franchise. But at the time, you know, not a crazy ask. They said no, and then Cheeto came in, and that was the end of it.
Do you think that Terrence Howard is a household name?
Maybe
to us, but not to
No.
like my parents. I don't think my parents.
I don't
would
think
know.
my grandparents, my sister. I
It
don't
depends. It depends on how big the household. Because remember, Empire's a huge. No, remember, Empire's a huge show.
Yeah, no, it's huge.
Big
It's huge.
show.
But do you think even most people that watch the show know his name?
Yes, people
do.
who watch Empire know who Terrence Howard is. Yes,
Know who he is.
His
No,
name. Yes,
you think?
he's the lead. He's the lead on that.
Yeah, but how many people do you think watch Modern Family and know what their names are?
No, I mean it's a little different. I think because that show is not serialized. Modern Family.
Just think about it all the time. Like even somebody who's a household face is not a household name.
I still don't know the name of the kid that plays Luke. I mean, I know the girls' names.
Right.
I don't know Luke's
Well, but yeah,
name
no,
either.
Ed O'Neill.
Ed O'Neill, of course, and
Yes.
Sofia Vergara and Jesse Tyler Ferguson. I mean, I know like the mains.
Yeah.
Julie Bowen, Phil.
And I know Brooks' wife.
Phil's just the
Phil
character's
Dunphy's the
name.
character. Farts.
John
Went to Penn
Farts.
State. No.
No, what is and also what is
Ty
Mitch's
Burrell.
name?
There it is.
Yeah,
What is
Burrell.
Mitch's name?
Which is Jesse Tyler Ferguson.
Yeah. Okay, good talk, guys.
I wouldn't have been able to rile those off.
Anything else? Speaking of Riles, Riley?
Riles, did you see the El Camino trailer, the sequel to Breaking Bad?
I did.
I did.
I
I
did.
did too.
I love. It's so subtle.
It's
so
so
subtle.
great.
Just sitting in the car, and it immediately when I was done with the trailer, I watched the last scene of the series.
It made me want to see it.
Absolutely,
again. Yeah.
because it's just
What,
him.
you just YouTubed it?
Yeah, and it's just him sitting in the. It's Jesse sitting in the car, and they said, "No, the only thing that I'm going to do that I haven't done yet." They said that in the report. I don't know if anybody picked up on this. They said that 9 people were found. 9, right? So now we have to go through and see. Is Walter White part of that,
Right.
or is he? Did he make it out? I think he's dead. He should be dead. I think it negates the whole series if he doesn't.
Totally.
But I just want to make sure because I started doing the math when I was looking at it. It looks like a lot more than 9 people. But because you got
Do you think Walter White is going to show up in this
flashback style?
Flashback style. I started getting a little creative myself.
Yeah.
Thinking that maybe Jesse starts to have like visions of him, and Walter keeps talking to him.
Maybe.
Do you mean as opposed to not at all, or do you mean
not at all? Like
I think he definitely does show
shows
up.
up
Yeah,
some
I
way.
think he shows up too.
Yeah, I think so too in the movie. The other thing is, it's funny because I had an ex-girlfriend that looked just like Lydia from Breaking Bad.
Was she the one who?
No, she was not. She was she the one you spoke to on the phone.
Oh.
Yeah, and she. But anyway, so I forgot about Lydia until I watched the scene again because I forgot he gives her the ricin at the end of it.
Yeah.
Now, how many seasons there are Better Call Saul?
I think we're going on 5.
Oh, does Lydia show up in I thought she. Oh, because there was rumors that she shows up in season 4, but I guess not.
I don't think so.
Well, you would know.
Yeah.
You've watched the
No.
show. But I got to go back and watch that show, Better Call Saul.
It's Better Call. I was just talking to Cobster and Kristian Rubicaba, and he is just started binging Better Call Saul. We just finished the first season.
Yeah.
It's fantastic TV.
I got to watch it.
It's great.
I got to watch it.
Speaking of Kristian, you know what's kind of sticking?
What?
RJ. I've been getting it a lot recently.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's speaking of
Okay.
nicknames, just because I cannot stop
What was that
calling
for
him.
again?
I just told you guys that I'd like
No,
a
but
nickname.
What was RJ? What does it stand
It's
for?
Roxanne
Roxy
Jillian.
Jillian.
Yeah, RJ.
Okay.
Yeah, Roxy Jillian.
All right. Well, all right, RJ. So
Supposed to be
what did you think
Jade.
of the trailer?
Thought it was good. Similar to the last one, where we're getting these little teases, and I'm
Snippets.
loving it.
Yeah, but this one you get actually Jesse.
Well, I also don't care if they show me anything more because
You're in.
I'm in.
Yeah.
So this is exactly what they should be doing.
Did you dig it?
Yeah, loved it. Yeah, I mean, this is, I was talking to Kristian about it. Is like this Better Call Saul is basically this math chess game that you're playing for when he actually becomes Saul. Right? Like, where is it going to happen? When does it happen? It's shot just like Breaking Bad, this whole thing. I mean, I lived for Breaking Bad. This movie, I want this whole, like, universe to connect. And we were talking about we talked about the rumor on Rumor Mill last week that they're gonna do another Pinkman. It's going to be a series. Like, I'm
Pinkman?
telling you,
You
there's
think
going to
so?
be, like, a Pinkman series.
They want to see how the movie does first. you
Yes.
think? Okay.
But
I think Aaron Paul would be super down.
Totally.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he did that
That's
show,
what matters.
what was that one on Hulu?
33 catch third.
No, it was like
I know.
The Path.
Right,
The Path, that's
Yeah,
what it
yeah,
was.
right?
Yeah.
That
2
shows,
seasons, right?
Yeah, 3 actually.
Three,
I think.
okay.
The
But
House
it
Catch
just it was
33.
fine. It was like very Scientology, but also weird. 22. And then he did that Need
It's
for
okay,
Speed, but really hasn't
RJ.
done much since. I mean,
Right.
like go back into the Breaking Bad world, man. There's no shame in just writing this character until you're
Sure,
100.
sure.
Just go.
He's also a really sweet dude.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, I wish all the best for him.
Well,
And
so-
I would love to see that show.
When's that come out? It comes out October, right?
October 11th.
11th.
Okay, so that's really starting to push it
Couple
now,
weeks.
which is good. I'm pumped for it. I really
Can't
dug
wait.
what we saw so far.
Yeah.
Okay,
Same.
anything else?
Are you guys more excited about Sopranos or Breaking Bad?
I think right now
future
Breaking.
of.
I think right now Breaking Bad. Sopranos. Like I do like Barenthal's playing Johnny Boy though, so that is exciting to me. How they said, is it a series or is it a movie?
It's a movie.
It's a movie. I think that I'd be a little bit more excited if it was a series of the younger Sopranos. But that's not to say they can't spin off into it again. One of the things that just made the original Sopranos so great is because Gandolfini
Was the best.
He just reminded me of like the part that wasn't the mobster, that family. I knew families like that, minus the mobster part of it. You know, it's like, and they all reminded me of this East Coast family, and I related to it. And if they make relatable families again the same way, and with a little bit of history, I'm very excited for the Sopranos movie. I just think because Breaking Bad is so fresh, and it was a more consistently good show, in my opinion, that I'm a little bit more excited for the Breaking Bad movie.
The best part about this Sopranos movie is that there won't be Ada Turturro as Janice. That is the worst character in the history of television.
I don't feel that way.
Yeah,
I hated Janice.
You're supposed
so
to
much.
hate her.
No, like any scene that she was in, I hated
you hate it?
Janice.
But
hated her.
I think that they.
That's how a lot of people feel about Skylar.
Really?
Oh, I like Skylar.
I don't mind Skylar.
Yeah, I don't
but
mind
a
Skylar
lot
at
of
all.
people. Have you guys not seen this whole movement on the internet?
No.
Yeah.
Justice for Skylar.
A lot of people hated Skylar.
No, I didn't mind. I didn't mind it.
But so you know the Deuce on HBO, the James Franco show.
Yeah.
It's in its final season. James Gandolfini's son plays the one guy's kid.
He's in the Sopranos movie.
I know. Yeah, he's playing.
And how is he?
He's fantastic. He's a great actor.
Does he look like?
Yes.
Okay.
Speaking of Sopranos, did you guys hear that Jamie Lynn Sigler is voicing the first Jewish Disney princess?
No.
Yeah.
Very
yeah,
cool.
they're doing. It's on an episode of a TV show, but it's the very first time that Disney's doing a Jewish princess. She's a Latina Jew voiced by Jamie Lynn Sigler.
Nice.
I'm pretty excited about it.
I love
her.
I love her too.
Let me ask you a question about that. Something I saw last night on the Emmys. They're doing the Disney Plus. The series comes out and it says pre-order now.
Yeah.
Was that just like get a deal if you pre-order now?
No, it's just available now.
Have
pretty
you never
much.
seen that
I know.
on, like-
I read I got the press release from Disney. I must have read it like three times trying to figure
does that mean
out.
you can't get it when it comes out?
No,
I'm sure you
What's
can.
the point?
It's just ready. You can. I don't know. You can. Oh, I know.
What is it?
If you sign up now, it's the same thing, $6.99, or you can pay $69.99 for the year, but you get a 7-day free trial with it.
Oh,
if you sign up, something like that.
Have you never seen this on like
fine.
a Kindle or
Yeah, I'm sure-
Amazon
I'm
where they're
sure,
like
but I just didn't-
pre-order now? I think it's just so when it
I
happens,
think it
it
was just
drops in your
confused.
box.
I think it was just confused.
I get what you mean.
Yeah, it was just confused.
I don't think there's like a stellar deal attached
All right.
to it. Maybe what he just said.
The only reason I asked that is because D23 they were offering that big deal, but someone else made.
But that was through the passes. If you were
I
in
thought
there.
about it though because it was like 3 years, right? 3 years you got it for this crazy deal.
Yeah.
But then I said like, this is a strange time we live in, and even though they have all these great IPs, nothing's guaranteed for 3 years. I mean, if you were gonna be a betting man, you could probably bet that it'll be around for 3 years, but nothing's guaranteed. So anyway, look, we're gonna before we jump into, I guess we'll do because I don't know if we have enough time for a phone call, Riley. So what we can do is why don't we do let's do a retweet. We'll do
Let's
a
do a
retweet.
retweet.
So what we will do is
We have 10 minutes. You don't think we could do it?
For a phone call?
we got to give away 2 packages. Let's do this. So if we can from hopefully from Collider Video, if Dorian is listening,
let's do this.
If Dorian's listening, we can tweet out Heroes and Villains. We have Heroes and Villains live 15.
Boom.
Live 15. We should do something. I don't know if we can do it sponsorship wise. We should do a retweet. You got to think about it. Whatever. I don't know what
10 minutes. Just do a call.
I think we should take a call.
Let's open up the calls.
Let's
try it. Let's try it.
Fine.
Let's try it.
Fine. All right, Cody,
Death
open up the
Star
call.
Defense.
We got
sure
2
we get the
things.
Felicia Day. We have
We're
2
going to do
things.
the Heroes and Villains cap. I want that hat.
Yeah, and
I don't want to give it away. And then we have a kit for the men out there and women. Come on, you can call in and give it to your man. It's from Manscaped.
Manscaped.
We had this.
Yo,
it's like
if you're not manscaping,
All right, you know what? Here it is. How about this?
You're
Tell
not
us,
doing it right.
tell us a good story about a stupid friend.
I love it.
Tell us a good story about a stupid friend. All right, so hey, you're on Collider Live. Who do we got?
Hi. Hi, it's Tiffany.
Hi, Tiffany.
Hey, Tiffany.
All right,
Yeah, Tiffany.
All right, so we got 2 giveaways here. The first is a hat.
Okay.
First is a hat from Heroes Villains, and it's a cool hat. Give me this, Roxy. And it's got a Stormtrooper helmet on it. It's Death Star Defense. It's definitely a villain's hat. And we have the Manscaping package, which is a lot of great stuff inside of that. It's a good gift. You know what's in there? Ron?
Yeah, yeah. It's a razor. It's a clippers. It's a
Ball
body
wipes?
wash. It's a
Thop kit, like
It
a
is
bag.
ball wipes.
Yeah,
there
ball
are
wipe.
ball wipes in there,
Ball wipe.
and a straight razor as well.
All right, so Tiffany, you go ahead and you pick. Which one would you like to try
Pay
for?
I guess the hat.
Okay. All right, so
Yeah,
we
okay.
want you to tell us a story about a stupid friend that you have.
Oh crap! I have no stupid stories right now. Oh my god.
Think about it. There's some if you.
I thought you were going to say I had no stupid friends.
If you were out at you don't have to say the person's name, but if you were out at a party and you were out somewhere, people started telling stories about something really stupid that someone did. Your head would go and your computer would start working, and you'd think about that one friend that did something really, really stupid. Who is that friend? And embarrass them now, please.
One time they got too drunk, they shit themselves.
I would say like the one time I was on the phone with someone in a store buying M&Ms, and I freaked out because I couldn't find my phone. I was talking to them on the phone.
So you're the stupid friend.
You turned it on yourself. I like that you turned it on yourself.
Yeah.
All right, Tiffany.
That's huge.
We'll give you the hat, Tiffany. But
Tiffany, are you on Twitter? Can you hit me up there?
Yeah, I'll hit you up.
Okay,
perfect.
all right. So
Well, because I met you guys at the New York event.
yes.
I was at the event, Elsa's show. I went and got cookies with Roxy.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
yeah. We stopped in that place that was delicious, chocolate chip cookie.
Snackery.
Yes.
Oh, good. So look at this.
That's
so
a good
now,
point.
That was awesome.
And
You were
now you
great.
got yourself a hat. So make sure you know that the phone is on you, Tiffany. Thank you so much for the phone call, and we hope to see you at the next New York event, which will be January. So keep your eye out for the tickets. All right. Hey, you're on Collider Live. Who do we got?
We got Jared from Backville, California.
All right, Jared, you're going to get a shot to win this manscaping package here. Like we said,
Boy, do you need it.
Oh, fantastic. I can't get the hat. That's that.
No, hat's gone. But
I'm looking forward to this manscaping thing, though. Okay.
good.
No, you know you need it.
Speaking of nutsack, you'll be able to, there's some ball wipes in there, so you'll be good for yourself. All right, tell me a story about a stupid friend.
All right. So this was senior year of college, and my buddy had just been broken up with, and he wanted to go downtown and get some drinks, and we're like, all right, cool, that's fine. And he gets shit-faced, like utterly gone, and we leave one of the bars, and he starts yelling about him, like being super pissed off about being broken up with, and he yells, F my ex, and we turn the corner on the street, and she's standing right there with her friends.
Nice.
Having heard him just yell, F my ex.
Right, so they didn't get back together.
No, they did not.
Did he say her name or he said my ex?
He said ex.
Oh.
So she's like,
I wish
well,
she was
that's
like,
me.
fuck Carol.
That'd be a good T-shirt. What do you think, guys? Do you think that?
Give him the manscape.
Give him the manscape.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you what.
Clearly, they need help in the lady
All right,
department.
all right.
so.
Go ahead and wipe your balls with this because we're gonna give you this. We're gonna send this away. Riley,
Can
find
you
Riley on Twitter.
Find me on Twitter, and we'll get it out to you. Thank you to Manscaped. Yeah, it's a great package that we got here. You had some of this.
I've used the plow. It's like the straight razor.
Yeah.
It's perfect to like shape the beard.
good.
The ball trimmers are like plastic, so they won't grab and make you bleed.
They will not cut you.
And the body wash, it smells amazing. It's fantastic.
I love when my balls don't bleed. This is such a throwback to the first episode of Collider we ever did. Do you guys
Wash
remember
your
that's the
balls.
first conversation we ever had?
Shave your
Shave your balls. And I was curious if the blood would squirt.
Such a timid conversation back, now when you think about it.
Yeah.
Because it was the first one like, oh, that's what this show is. Now everybody
I
knows.
was very curious.
Now you can shave your
I
balls
learned
with this and
all
not get
about
cut.
what happens if you nick yourself down there. Ooh, baby.
And thanks to Heroes and Villains for this hat to give
Myself
away.
and Riley and Makuga are going to dance out the door here, and you guys are going to be treated here. Roxy Stryer is going to sit down with Felicia Day. They are going to talk about the brand new book, Embrace Your Weird. Face Your Fears and Unleash Creativity. It is dropping everywhere on my birthday, October 1st. And so, when we get back, you'll have Roxy and Felicia talking stuff.
Hey guys, it's Perry here to let you know that Movie Talk is moving. We've had a great time in this 3 p.m. Pacific slot, but guess what? We want you to start your day with Collider Movie Talk, so we're moving. 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern. It's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to get a longer show with some brand new segments, so tune in starting Monday, September 16th, 9 a.m. Pacific. See you there.
Hey everyone, John Roca here, the host of Collider Sports Time. Well, if you've been watching us every week, we break down the latest and the greatest in the world of sports, talk about the big issues, the big games, all of it with a rotating band of guests like Matt Nose and Josh McCouga. We've had Taylor Bisciotti on. We've had so many great guests. Now, if you want to see more of Sports Time or you want to try it out for the first time, remember to subscribe to Collider Sports YouTube channel for all the sports goodness.
Hey guys, it's Riley here. Let me tell you about the Riley Roundtable. You know it, right? It drops every Thursday on Collider Conversations, and I have guests from all across the space. John Roca, Gray Drake, Alexander Desplat came on at one point. We talk everything from movies, we talk about life, and everything in between. What do you want to hear? What do you want to talk about? It's the Riley Roundtable every Thursday on Collider Conversations. You get it there.
Hi, I'm Coy Jandro, host of Collider Heroes, and I'm here to tell you we've got 20-minute episodes coming at you on Collider Video, on the YouTube, as you've always loved it. Plus, now we've got hour-long podcasts dropping every Thursday, so make sure to subscribe to the podcast because it's going to get even more sweaty on the podcast. Plus, every week, we're going to try to get some very special guest interviews, all of the people that help shape these movies and TV shows you love. So, video, podcast, interviews, all coming at you. Be sure to subscribe. Thanks so much, guys. Stay sweaty.
Well, hello there. I'm Ken Napzok, one of the hosts of Collider Jedi Council, and I'd like to invite you to listen to our show, watch our show. It's on every Thursdays on the Collider Video channel, and it's also available in podcast form if you'd like to listen to our sweet voices on Collider Jedi Council, me, Kristian Harloff, and a bevy of guests, I say, talk Star Wars. We celebrate Star Wars. We dig into the Star Wars news. We speculate everything about Star Wars, including your questions. So join us on Collider Jedi Council. You're going to have a great time.
What's up, Collider fans? Ryan Satin here from ProWrestlingSheet.com, where you can find the top stories throughout the week in the world of professional wrestling. If you're a wrestling fan like myself, then you'd be doing yourself a disservice by not checking out all the shows we do every week on YouTube.com/C/Wrestling Sheet. In particular, on Wednesdays, we've got a SmackDown recap show hosted by John Roca and myself, where we pick apart and talk about every little thing that happened on the Blue Brand. So do yourself a favor and go subscribe at youtube.com/C/Wrestling Sheet.
Hey guys, Riley here, and let me tell you about Rule of Two. You looking for a Star Wars fix? Well, Rule of Two is that show. It drops on Collider Video's main YouTube channel, as well as on Podcast One's Jedi Council feed. So go over there, subscribe, share it with your friends. It's hosted by myself and Mark Fernandez. We talk everything in the Star Wars universe with a lot of deep dives and a lot of conversations that go all in. You know what to do. Subscribe, join us there, and rise.
Hey everyone, John Roca here, the host of Collider Mailbag. A new episode drops every Saturday and Sunday in your face and in your ears, answering the questions from you fans about the world of entertainment, film, and television. Me and great guests from our sphere do the best to answer your questions from Twitter, from Instagram, and of course, email as well, every Saturday and Sunday.
Hello, how are you guys doing? I'm Kristian Harloff. I'm the host of Collider Jedi Council. We talk about everything Star Wars. It's movie news, it's canon, it's all of it. We take questions from you guys. How do you do it? Main channel, that's right here. Subscribe to this channel. But if you want to just listen to it, you got the podcast feed too. Apple Podcasts, you can listen to it in your car. Do all of it. It's Star Wars. Episode 9's coming out. And then after Episode 9, you got TV shows. So we're going to be your sports center for Star Wars. Do it. Come on. Be real.
Hi, I'm Amy Dallin, one of the hosts of Collider Heroes, and starting right now, you can catch our show Tuesday nights with a new Collider Heroes and a longer Collider Heroes podcast, where Coy and I are gonna talk your ears off. You already know that's coming. So make sure to go to YouTube, subscribe, and find us on the Collider Heroes podcast feed for all of that sweaty goodness.
The Witching Hour is all over Collider right now. You can listen to that horror-filled podcast with myself, with Haley Fouch. We talk about witchiness, we talk about slashers, we talk about space horror, you name it, all on that show on the Collider Factory feed. And on top of that, you can find an article all about Witching Hour every single Tuesday on Collider.com. Check it out, get scared. Hopefully you survive the Witching Hour.
I love my company.
We are back right now, and I will hear more about that in a minute. We are with Felicia Day. She just wrote an amazing new book. She's already a New York Times bestselling author from the book You're Never Weird on the Internet. Almost. And now her book, Embrace Your Weird, a book that I read cover to cover and I'm so excited to break down with you. I kind of been calling this a workbook. Would you say that that's an accurate description? Because I feel like every 2 seconds I was writing down something, drawing pictures, explaining things. Like it's like a more mature adult creativity workbook.
Yeah, that's what I was aiming to do. I wanted to have an interactive experience with the audience in a book form, which was a little bit of a challenge. I can't tell you how many drafts we went back and forth trying to like move just. It was like a Tetris thing to try to put the exercises, and I'm like, oh, we need more room here and more room here, and we need another graphic. But it turned out to be so wonderful, and I wanted that experience where you're reading something and you're taking in a concept and then you apply it, because that's the best way to learn, if you put it in your body.
Absolutely. And if you tell somebody, later in your own time, you should go try one of these experiments, they probably won't.
I would say that unless you put it in front of somebody's face, they're not going to do it, right?
And certainly for me, that was the case for this. I was like, okay, she's telling me that in order to unleash this creativity inside me, I have to try to write down these, 5 words or fears or draw a picture of a cat or whatever it is that I'm doing. And I'm sitting there thinking, I don't know if this is going to work for me, but honestly, I'll try anything. And truthfully, I was shocked with how well it actually worked.
Oh my God, that makes me so happy. I'm getting chills. You just made my day.
No, really, though, because I was I'm in the middle of touching up a feature of mine, and I was experiencing a little bit of writer's block. And then I'm sitting there with one of them where I was like, okay, now all of a sudden I'm drawing this cat, and I don't know exactly why or how, and now the cat is chasing money. It just happened with one of your things, and then all of a sudden I was like, oh, I think I know what I should do for my script.
That's so wonderful.
Unrelated, because I just needed that step away from it moment.
You need to make it playful again, and I think the closer we get to a finish line, the more we are like, oh, it's for somebody else, not me. And for me, that's the thing that starts to put you in a cage. Because then you start to think of the externals versus the internal. And if you're an artist, every step of the way should be playful. It should be organic to yourself. And then once you get outside of okay, here's what I have to say, you let the critics in. But once you start to let the critics in during those last couple of phases, it could literally be stifling.
I completely agree. Something that I thought was interesting about this book was you just mentioned as an artist. But I feel like this is for artists and also people who don't necessarily consider themselves artists, but would like to experiment in that world. When you were writing this, how did you decide whether you were going to do 101 for newbie artists or 405, whatever a higher education course number is, for the people more experienced in the arts?
I always tried to have an entry point for all sorts of people, and I know that's kind of a wishy-washy thing, and it's very hard to do that but I think that's kind of my specialty in life. If you look at all the web video that I've ever made, which are thousands and thousands of videos that I've produced, a lot of the ones I've shepherded myself creatively, like Tabletop or Spell Slingers, which was a show I did for Magic the Gathering. My whole goal in life is to be excited about something, figure out a way to translate that to people, and give them the easy steps to get into it so they can be as excited as me. And so I kind of approach creatively like that. And, whether you're a professional creator or just you are kind of unfulfilled and need a hobby, it's the same steps, right? It's just how aggressively you pursue them and how much time you dedicate to them. And having a little sliver of that creativity in your life, whatever level you're on, is so important in life. And that's kind of the core of the book.
I think that a reason why it was so different than a lot of other creative books as well is I kept getting these snippets about your life, which were incredibly interesting, but I learned that you were homeschooled.
Yep.
Do you feel like that has been a huge part of your creative experience? Because I would have to imagine that the way that you were trained to learn or study or grow up was very different than the traditional conventional schooling system.
Yeah, I sometimes forget how different my upbringing was. I never woke up before 10. I never really took a test. I just kind of learned for fun. And I do believe that kind of made me a very self-motivated person, but also someone who pursues learning and curiosity and lets my curiosity sort of lead me, because that was how I was schooled. If I was interested in geology, I would just study it. Nobody ever quizzed me on it. I just was I want to learn. And so that really, you're right, it does drive me a lot, especially around learning and also just gender roles. I think it allows me just to kind of be myself without having people my whole life impose things that I should be based on my appearance. And I think a lot of us have to unlearn those things, unlearn the stuff about how we look should quote unquote guide where we go in life, and also just having somebody give us tests every 5 minutes to sort of make learning a chore versus a joy.
Well, I'd have to assume, though, that you have to be a special kind of person in order to have that self-motivation that you're talking about, and that not all children necessarily would. You talked about your child in this book briefly, and I'm curious, with education, did you decide that that would be the same path or that you wanted to go a different path?
You know, I think for me, it's always her leading me. You know, if she expresses an interest in spiders, you know, I will provide her a book on spiders, and we will go to the museum to see spiders. And so it's really curiosity-based learning. And, you know, I think my upbringing was a little bit more, not imposed, but I was really steered to be an overachiever in certain arts and stuff like that. And so for her, I'm kind of like backing off even more and letting her show me where she wants to go, and be organic about it, because we're all different. And you're totally right. Some people are less motivated. But I think any child, if they're interested in something, will be super motivated. And any person, if they're interested in something, will be super motivated. So it doesn't feel like work to learn to read like 7 D&D manuals in a row if that's your passion. Or it doesn't feel like work. My brother learned every single World War II airplane when he was like 8. He knew the names of every one of those. It wasn't work for him, right? So I agree with you, but that everybody has a different learning capacity and interest. But I think universally, if somebody's interested in something, they will work at it without thinking that it's work. And I guess that's kind of the core of the book. What is it that makes you feel like it isn't work? Then you need to kind of incorporate that in your life more.
Something that was all these fascinating things in here, but something about that really stuck with me is that your first test was at 15 when you took the SATs.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of, you know, reading this thinking it's baffling that you are such an artist, you're such a creator, but at the same time, you're very studious and you're applying for college at 15 years old. A lot of people think that people choose the arts to get out of having to do those other things so that they don't have to study the math, sciences, whatevers of the world, and that they can express themselves in a different way. But for you, it seems like you kind of were both left and right-brained and wanted to do all of the things.
I mean, I think you have influences in your life. Like my family was very science-based, and yet I gravitated toward doing arts. But, you know, I mean, there's a whole thing where they say neurally connected, the math and music are very close. And so, you know, that it's a language like any other, right? So I think that you're right. I kind of balanced it, but it was also, I think, outside influences where I saw my grandfather being a physicist and my dad being a doctor. And so you kind of have these things around your house that might not be in a house of a humanities professor or somebody who works in tech or something like that. So all these things that we're kind of raised in are formative for us and kind of steer us in certain directions. But at the core, we are drawn to things. And I think the first part of this book is especially like digging deep, figuring out who you are, and then it's only with learning who you are in the past that you can know where to go in the future.
Was there ever a point where you were concerned because the influences in your life are more traditional, they're taking more traditional path, maybe a path that is more financially stable or anything like that, where you were wondering, okay, maybe I shouldn't do this. Maybe I should try to do what my dad, what my grandfather have done and do something that has more stability to it?
No. I mean, I'm...
No.
I mean, I really am the kind of person. I think it could be that I grew up in a very unstructured environment. I have a hard time in structured environments. I feel kind of confined. I feel very claustrophobic. And I like to be my own boss at a basic level. And so whenever I've gotten myself into situations where I can't be a leader and the leader of my own time, and I mean, really, I read somewhere, I don't know who it was, but it was like, you know, money is only to buy you time. That's all we have really in life. So if you're chasing money and using all your time to get more money, you're actually missing the point of existence, which is just to make the most of the time that we have. And so I work to be able to own my time, and not everybody can do that. And I say that in the book. It's like, yeah, you can't quit and become like a carpenter tomorrow. Probably, maybe. I don't know, but I don't want you to like ruin your family because of me. But if you really want to build woodwork, you can find a slice of your life to devote yourself to that. And that will be so enriching, especially way more enriching than consuming everybody else's creativity all the time like we often tend to do.
You mentioned time. I got to ask you this. There was one moment in the book where you said it and then we moved on and I was like, wait, what? You didn't tell your mother that you were pregnant until you were 8.5 months pregnant?
I mean,
talk to me. Like,
that's
what
not
is
really. I'm not recommending that.
Wait, but how does that even? Did you not see her often? Did she just not notice? Like, what takes place where you're like, can't tell her?
I mean, my mom's a little bit of a cookie bird. If you read my memoir, you know that she's a very free spirit, very like laissez-faire about just any rules whatsoever. I don't live near her. She lives in Texas, and I live in Los Angeles, and I was very busy that year. And
busy the year that you were pregnant? I would think, yeah. You probably had a lot going on.
I had a lot going on. And so my mom tends to be very over anxious about things, and she's very medical and clinical. And like anything you say, it's like, I'm going to Tahiti. Oh, you're going to die of these 7 diseases. Mm-hmm. So I already had a very high anxiety level because I had a very hard time getting pregnant, and it was very many things that didn't work for many years. And I was like, okay, I just need to de-stress. And so I feel like she might stress me out with all her texts of weird things that are happening, could happen, maybe happen, I shouldn't do. And I was like, I don't need it. So I love my mom.
Oh, no, I'm sure you do. The way you said it in the book was so nonchalant. Because something that I do adore is that you seem to really have a great understanding of yourself and what you need at what times. And I think that's a huge part of creativity and figuring out what you should do.
But that's a process. And honestly, this book helped me put myself back together after I had a baby because I'm not a radically different person, but I had to be a different version of myself to incorporate this huge time suck into my life that's a baby. Totally worth it, but you can't be everything, right? At least, especially in the beginning of a child's life. And so this book, really, I was at a life crisis. I was like, who am I as a creator? What do I want to prioritize? I do all these things I love. How can I give them up? And I tried to be ruthless with myself, like, what do you value in life? And that's really, the journey of this book is like, at the end of the day, what do you want to have in your life? Where do you want to spend your time? What little time we have? And it's not depressing, I promise. It's funny.
No, it's actually the least depressing, most motivational, and opening up of your creativity. So that was an interesting part. I feel like you didn't want to drag people down, so you were just like, and anyway, wait until I was 8.5 months. Let her know. Side note.
Just for the record, she wasn't great happy about it, but she got over it, okay?
So what happens? You tell her and she says what?
She was like, what? And then she asked, okay, I will tell you this because my mom will probably never listen to this. She got a little bit upset that I didn't tell her. And I was like, well, I didn't want to stress you out. And that was a good, I did. And actually, she's an anxious person. She's very anxious. And so I actually felt like she would have been more anxious for me. That's my rationale, at least. And then she was like, what is it going to be named? And she asked me to name it after her.
She said, will you please name your child
She's like,
her?
well, I named you after your aunt. And my name is a great name, or something like that.
What did you say to that?
I was like, you know what? We already have a name picked out, and we're not telling anybody until.
Oh my gosh! So have they interacted at all?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I visit. She gets a daily video. Now it's fine. It's like daily videos, daily pictures. She says so many lovely positive things about it. And it actually has brought us together, even though I don't see her except a couple times a year. So really, pregnancy is not fun. I mean, to me, it was awful. I hated every minute of it. And why incorporate all that sorrow? And I didn't tweet about it either until I was 8.5 months pregnant either. Because I just didn't want...
if you tweeted about it before you told your mom, I think that would have
that's why
she would have found out.
That's why I called her.
To let her know. Oh my God. Well, didn't you feel like you needed a little extra help at some point, but you just thought she wouldn't be that support that you needed at that time?
Well, she didn't live there, and we have a very layered relationship, and I love her a lot. And she doesn't live here, so it was a little bit just like I needed to protect myself in all ways, and having her long distance be a part of it in that way. Listen, I'm not saying that's what every mother and daughter should do, all right? But to me, there's a bunch of in here that you need to protect yourself when you need to protect yourself, right?
Absolutely.
And to me, that was what I needed to do to get through a very tough time because, like I said, I didn't even tell anybody for months and months and months because so many bad things had happened in the past around it. So it was not a joyful, like, yay, everybody touched my belly kind of thing. I literally was doing conventions and nobody could tell because I was like, I dressed well.
And you're so tiny, though. I'm sure that you looked like a cute little pregnant woman that nobody knew. You're just wearing
until the last month, and I exploded like a blimp. But it's because I sorrow ate hamburgers every single day because I was so angry.
That was your craving?
I was just like, get out. Get out of me. If I get a groaner in a jar, I would have a bunch of them. I just don't want it.
We have a brand new daddy in the booth right now. Cody.
Aw.
Cody just had a child. Cody, thoughts on waiting 8.5 months to let your parents know?
Yeah, I don't know how you did that. I had to do the bare minimum. I was like, right away. Gotta tell her.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause She would kill me if I waited any longer.
I mean, yeah, okay, I got you. But I do things my own way.
Yes, you do, and that is amazing about you. And this book convinced me that you have so many more stories to tell.
Oh, thank you.
And so I'm excited to hear some of them. I know that you also have a podcast, probably because, like I said, you have a lot more creative work to do on this planet. Voyage to the Stars. It's an improv but kind of scripted thing. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, it's a scripted improv comedy about a bunch of misfit people who kind of get sucked through a wormhole and try to come back to Earth on a ship. And so we had a first season out. It's very funny. It's Colton Dunn from Superstore, Janet Varney from Stand Against Evil and Cora, and Kirsten Vangsness, who we talked about a little bit. She's amazing. She's from Criminal Minds, but she also is this amazing creator, and Steve Berg. And so Kirsten actually joined our crew this last season, which premiered last week.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And it's really funny. We improvise everything. So we get kind of story points, and then we know where we're going. So within the story points, we kind of just make up every line of dialogue. So when I listen to an episode, I have no idea what we've been doing. I literally have no idea.
How does it come to be? How did you guys start this project together? Is this from your brain?
No, this is not my. This is my friend Ryan Koppel created this, and he ran my company Geek and Sundry for. I've known him for 10 years. I picked him off the internet because he made awesome content. And
love when you pick people off the internet.
I know. I pick artistic friends off the internet, not sexual partners. Just for the record.
Good advice. Solid.
Listen, you do you. All right. Just make sure
Why not?
And so Ryan, he's just a really great creator. He ran my company production, and then he ran the whole company, and then he created this thing this year. And it's been such a, for many years I ran a company and I had dozens of employees, and we did a lot of great content. But I became more of a less creatively free in a way when you have so many shows and so many burdens in a sense, and I wasn't being as creative as I wanted to be, and that's why I stepped away from the company when I had a baby.
Different part of the brain, like we were
totally
just talking
different.
about.
Yeah, and so that was part of the process of this book, actually, like just winnowing down the things that are super, super important. And my company was really important, but doing the work that at the company at the time was just didn't fit with what I wanted to do with my life, right? And so I've just been concentrating on my own creative things, and things like Voyage to the Stars and the book, other writing projects I'm working on are really like just letting me soar in a way that I'm really, really happy.
One of the projects that a lot of the people at Collider, I'm sure, would be excited for me to ask you about, because a friend of the show who was on the show for a long time, Brett Sheridan,
yes,
was a host of the show for a while, The Guild.
Yeah. Mr. Wiggly.
Chance for a return. People want to know.
I know. Just in the last year, and after doing this book, actually, I've gotten over. I had a severe burnout. If you read my memoir, I had a nervous breakdown because of all the pressure of running a company and just all the things that I had to do to sort of like just heave the success, which we were very successful, but it was very, very hard on my body and my mind. So I just completely had a nervous breakdown. And so I kind of burned down on The Guild the last season. And it's only been this year when I'm like, hey, I just really love those characters again. So I can't say that there's something specific involved right now, but I would say that there's reasons that I want to revisit it in the future.
People are losing their minds excited for that then.
I hope so, yeah.
When you mentioned your breakdown a couple of different times, do you feel like now that you are on the other side of that, that was actually, in the long run, helpful for your creative brain and helpful for whatever your future would look like? And do you look at it almost as a blessing? Because I've been in similar shoes, and I have been trying to train my brain to feel that way.
Yeah. I mean, listen, there's a whole chapter on regret in here. And I used to live just literally, I was paralyzed by it. I should have bought that other dress. I should have said yes to this project. I should have, if I had only done this, then I would be there right now. And you're absolutely right. Everything we go to makes us a little more broken, but a little more strong in a weird way. And
it doesn't kill you, only makes you stronger. They say it for a reason.
It's true. It really is. And I lived a very paralyzed life. A big part of my problem in life was that I was a perfectionist, and I wasn't willing to do work that was bad to get to the place where I needed to go. And embracing the fact that everything is process, everything is work, and you have to free yourself in order to be able to create something. You cannot get an end result the first step. And I think that's a core tenet of my book, but also a core tenet I wish I had learned a lot earlier in life. And so my perfectionism and that nervous breakdown happened because I took too much on. and
Too many projects?
Too many projects. I mean, listen, we were doing 40 hours of content on almost no budget for the YouTube release. I was also acting full time on a couple of TV series. I was producing every video, and I'm a control freak, so I'm literally in editing. I'm giving notes on every single video, and we're doing 3 videos a day. Like, it just became no person could do it, and I didn't know how to say no, because I wasn't taking care of my inner self. And I say about this in the book, like, you have to protect yourself. You have to protect the core of what makes you special.
I love the sentence that you say, let me get back to you.
Yes.
Let me get back to you.
Let me get back to you.
Instead of yes,
no,
let me get
I'll
back
have
to
to
you.
get back
I
to you.
have to get back to you.
Because my impulse is to say yes to everything. I will say yes to some rando comes up to me. It's like, hey, you want to have lunch? I'm like, let me check my calendar. Like, there's no self-preservation here.
Right.
And so I think, I think I'm to an extreme. I think a lot of women struggle with that issue because we are kind of trained to conform and be available for other people's needs a lot. Even in media, like, women characters are there to satisfy the male character. I mean,
There's a whole word for it. There's a whole name for when women are on screen and all they're doing is talking about men and serving men.
Yeah, or the Bechdel test. Does it
Bechdel
cause
test,
it? But yeah,
exactly.
I mean, certainly in literature, if we look at what we are kind of trained to see how society works, there's like a primal, brain that we have that imprints. Oh, people don't fly. This is how people talk. Like this, there are a lot of rules that we have imprinted in us from a very young age, and so we kind of have to shake those in order to really find who we truly are, not because the rules tell us we should be a certain way. So it's very hard to just preserve what is important about ourselves as artists, but it is the most important thing, because I would never let someone do that to my baby. Why would we let somebody to do that to our inner artist, right? And so that is so primarily important, to really be ruthless about what do I do well. Well, maybe I shouldn't be giving notes on all the marketing material because I do the creative well. I should be doing the edits and then the casting and then writing and things like that. And I didn't know how to say no. So that's why. I mean, I really just made my body collapse. But you're totally right. Now I know how to protect myself. Now I know how to do these steps. And that's literally all that's in this book, how I put myself back together as a human being over and over again in my life.
And do you think that it's okay to continue to make the same steps that maybe make it so that you'll have to put yourself back together in a year, 5 years, 10 years, and to have to keep on going through that?
I mean, I think psychologically we have transitions in our life, right? I mean, you transition through puberty makes us a different person in a certain way. Getting out of high school and going to college, getting out of college and going into the real world. Turning 30 is so often thing. Becoming a mother, becoming a parent. So there are certain benchmarks that we as human beings kind of share that we're going to fall apart. We're going to reprioritize our brain. We're going to figure out, hey, this thing that I thought was really important at 21 or 15 isn't as important to me. It's a part of me, but it's not what I want to spend my time on, and that's okay to let go and move on into becoming another person, because we have so many people inside that we can be. Right? We should be growing and changing throughout life. If we're not, we're just stuck. And I think that's what makes a lot of us unhappy.
Absolutely. I agree with that. Talking about some of the things that you had been a part of all at the same time, you're working on a million things, but one of those things that you were a part of that has become a huge, huge pop culture phenomenon, so much so that they're actually bringing it back, that being Buffy.
Oh, yeah.
Buffy being one of the biggest shows that ever hit and is now part of the reboot culture. What do you think about bringing Buffy back?
I mean, I think it's great if they honor the past. I mean, I think fresh reboots are kind of, I guess you have to wait a long time for people's memories to, especially when you consume something in your formative years, you're always that person's fan. So it doesn't matter if I'm, 50 years old. If somebody sees somebody, I'm not 50 years old, by the way. But when I get to there.
I don't think anybody's thinking that, girl.
I know. I hope not. I do have smooth skin. I'm just thinking, if somebody sees me on the street and they're like, oh, that's the girl from Buffy who I saw when I was 15. Like, we're both 15 again, because we share that moment in our life, right? And that's why pop culture is so important for us. And I think why a lot of us get really upset, like, you're rebooting what? But I heard that the circumstances under the reboot is that they're just continuing the story. So everybody remains canon. It's just a new Slayer, which I think is a really cool idea.
You prefer that than an actual reboot where we're starting fresh that's got the title Buffy, but it actually has nothing to do with the first one?
I prefer that. What's my opinion? I mean, in canon, I'm like the head of the New York Slayer, so I feel like I would have a really cool role, at least in my mind, for a reboot. But yeah, I feel like Buffy is so iconic. You can't just let go of the past and move on. right? I mean, I don't know how you feel about it. I'd like to hear.
I absolutely agree with that.
Okay, good. I was like,
no, I 100% agree, and I'm glad you mentioned it because 100% the door is open for your character to come back. But you are right now creating so many things, being a mom, being a New York Times bestselling author, working on videos. Is that something that you feel like you could say yes to, or is that one of those, let me check my calendar, give
well,
me a
I always
minute?
say, let me check my calendar. The thing that I really cut out the most is making videos. And I think it's really hard for me because I did like a branded thing last month and it was the funnest thing I worked on. I was like, look at me, I'm editing again. I love it. To me, I've cut back a lot of different things. I've cut back trying to please people, especially like mainstream Hollywood, where I was trying to get in. And I realized, doing this book and everything, I'm just like, wow, I've spent a lot of manpower, my own manpower, trying to conform to this construct that I don't think I'm actually suited to, and wouldn't be happy getting in there. I love acting, but like as a creator, like maybe I'm happier doing books or little podcasts or videos, and so that's something that I allowed myself to let go of in writing this book, and I feel a lot stronger and way less neurotic about. So yeah.
So you think that as a creator, being back on a Buffy set might be something you would be interested
it would be amazing.
in?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, Supernatural, like the worlds that I've belonged to, Eureka, Supernatural, even Magicians, like I've been so lucky in getting the roles as an actor that I just love and they're part of and my fans love. And I think that's because I took charge of defining myself as an artist. For many years, I was an actor, and I would just audition for commercials, which is the ultimate of pleasing people. And I would audition for, TV, and I would never get anything. I would be like second choice, and it was really, really, really frustrating. And the roles that I would get were just marginal and not roles that were interesting to me. They were very typecast. And so I created the Guild because I just want to show people who I was. And I wanted to be defiant and like I deserve to have a platform in a way that I deserve to be seen, even if it's by 5 people. I want to show you my creativity.
But it wasn't by 5 people. It was by a lot more than that.
But it could have been, and that's what But you're right. It was a right place, right time, right voice. But at the same time, had I never had the following because of that show, that would still be the highlight of my artistic life because it was a pure expression of who I wanted to be seen as and who I wanted to communicate to. And because of that show. Every single role that I've gotten since is because people see me on that show and are like, hey, that's a cool character. I'm going to write a character similar to that in my show.
Have they said that to you?
Uh-huh, yeah.
Wow.
I mean, it was a Felicia Day type for Charlie in the Supernatural. And so I was like, I'm so excited you asked me.
Because who else can play Felicia Day better than Felicia Day?
I mean, I hope so, Maybe.
What do you mean?
Okay, true story. I did a commercial back in the day, a very long time ago. It was a drinkable yogurt, which, by the way, is disgusting. I've not had drinkable yogurt since.
Drinkable yogurt? Oh, yeah. One of those tube ones?
Yep. It was like a little, carton. Anyway, so okay. I had to walk down the street, and it was my inner monologue saying how much I loved low carb stuff and I love yogurt, and I just had to walk down smiling, and then I auditioned to be the voice in my own head. And I didn't get it.
What happened?
They cast another woman.
They just said that voice doesn't sound like it goes with that body?
Yes.
Wow.
Can you believe that? It's the ultimate in Hollywood.
Wow. I actually can believe it. I definitely can believe it. You have so many more stories to tell everybody and so much more to give. So anybody who is struggling with their creativity right now, or even if you're not struggling but you just want to look at it a new way, I definitely recommend picking up Embrace Your Weird. This is a book that definitely helped me as I'm working on my feature right now. So Embrace Your Weird, Felicia Day, your second book. You know you're a winner because you're already a New York Times bestselling author for your first one. Also, your podcast, Voyage to the Stars, if you want a improv but also scripted bizarreness thing, then definitely go check that out. And where can everybody find you on social media, Felicia?
At Felicia Day everywhere. So,
although we shouldn't be checking it that often. I already told the Collider Live audience that earlier.
Cut it back. Just, you could be bored a little bit a day because when you give room for being bored, you're going to get creative ideas. I promise. Okay? And I'm telling that to myself too.
My mom used to always say the only bored people are boring people.
Oh, your mom's cool.
Yeah, she definitely was. Thank you so much.
You would tell your mom that you were pregnant, huh?
I get what you did. It's a non-judgment situation. I just
I got a little uncomfortable only because I feel like if my mom saw that, she might be mad at me.
No, but there's nothing to be uncomfortable for. Like you said in your book, you did what was best for you and for your child.
Yeah,
you need to make sure they're safe. I just thought, wow, this is one quick line in the book that I can't not ask her about.
No, I love it. There's lots of things like that. You're like, what? I'm a little bit weirder than you think, and I'm proud of it. because
No, and this shows that, and it did a great job. So, Felicia, thank you so much for coming in. We really appreciate it. We'll be back tomorrow, guys. Who the hell knows who's going to be in here with us? Thank you, Cody, in the booth. Hopefully, Alex will show up. Josh McCouga, Mark Riley, Kristian Harloff, Roxy Stryer, and of course, Felicia Day. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Whoop!